boy, the next word that comes out of your mouth better be some brilliant fucking Mark Twain shit, because it's definitely getting chiseled on your tombstone.
Hello everyone, welcome to Kill the Cast. We are back. My name is Jerry, and with me, as always, is the very quotable Jay.
There are ghosts in the basement. This basement? Of course this basement! What is it with you people? If it was the basement next door, I wouldn't give a shit, would I?
That was a great fucking choice. Oh, I did not see that one coming. And, of course, we have the Silent Hill biker himself, Kenneth.
Hell yeah, good old Uncle Kenneth, ready to go.
And
creepy uncle my parents won't leave me alone with anymore.
My parents would leave me alone.
Me,
they would be like, here, learn something. Anyway, and from the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast, the Married with Children podcast, the MMA Ultimate Fighters podcast, the Vestron Video Title podcast, the Netflix and Chill podcast, Defunct Podcast Likes the X-Files podcast, and many, many others, we have JP Shot.
You forgot a double shot of horror. You forgot...
Okay, calm down.
Else, burial grounds.
Hey,
yeah.
okay, Jamie Sammons, calm down. Jesus. And as a even more special surprise, we've got the exploding head himself, the ABCs of hidden horror, man with a plan, Dave motherfucking Zee.
Hey, what's happening? So happy to be here.
Formerly of Banana Laser and Skeleton Crew, even though he was just on another Skeleton Crew, which was nice to see. And future, I don't know, husband of Christian? I don't know.
No, that's Brandon. Thank you.
First of all, Brandon is not marrying Christian, because I've got dibs on that ass, okay? Me and Watson have already, we already know who gets them what weekends. We've already planned this out, okay?
Oh, yeah, grab it.
Yeah. Grab Ass Podcast 2010. Yep. It's coming.
Grab Ass Cast. On the way. Nice.
So, with that being said, now that everyone's here, Jay, what have you been doing this week?
Fucking working, and that's it. Just working.
All right. I hope you're fucking at work also.
Yes. Fucking, working.
Yeah. Spill, aisle 2. All right.
It's sticky. I don't know why.
Man, this milk has really gone bad. It tastes really salty. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Oh, sorry. It's Norwegian. Anyway, that was a bad joke. Kenneth, what have you been doing this week?
Working mostly. I finally watched that movie Incarnate. Has anybody else watched Incarnate?
No.
Not yet.
It was like a combination of let me see the best way I can think of it. The Exorcist, The Cell, and Constantine.
So it's a guy who's off to destroy demons when he meets a girl who's possessed by a demon who can't stop using Twitter.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And as for me, I've been watching Sons of Anarchy because of Kenneth and Alex, so that's pretty much all I've been fucking doing. So we'll move right along. JP, what have you been doing?
Man, just like these guys, I've been working, but I did squeeze in some entertainment. Been playing Mega Man on Xbox, they did the Legacy thing. Dude, I don't know how the hell these kids back in the 80s and 90s beat these games. I didn't get... I had a Nintendo, but I really didn't come along until Sega Genesis. But dude, Mega Man is one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life. I can't even finish a stage.
If you
it's insane.
If you play Mega
for NES?
Yeah.
Game's awesome.
If you play Mega Man 2, if you beat Metal Man first, he has the best weapon in the game. You can fucking roll through motherfuckers once you have his...
Okay, but what about Mega Man 1?
No, you're fucked.
I've beaten 3
Actually,
bosses.
hold on.
Using save
Let's go to Jay here, because Jay is probably the best video gamer here. Jay, how do you beat Mega Man 1?
With skill, bro. So the Mega Man games are all about memorization. You're gonna die a bunch of times until you learn the stage, and then you just do it.
Sounds about right, because that's what happened. I died.
That's all it is, because the stage never changes. The enemy patterns, they don't change. So once you learn all that, you're good to go.
Those damn
Sounds like
disappearing
Ninja Gaiden.
blocks are the worst. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
second, I watched what I think is
one.
Oh my god.
Third
yeah.
one is disappearing teleporting blocks.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Though
Though Mega Man, I think Mega Man 2 and 3 are the best in the series, personally.
That's when you cheat and she's rush and fly across the stage.
That's also true. So,
I can't believe we're talking about Mega Man games. I beat these games like fucking 20 years ago, and we're talking
Mega
about
Man
them now.
is my
It's so
favorite
funny.
video game series of all time.
yeah, you have
never
one of them
played it.
signed,
I
right?
never
I have
really
a
played it.
shrine. I have a shrine, and I have the copy of Mega Man 2 signed by Inafune, who's the guy who invented the games, and Mark Erickson, who's the guy who drew the terrible Mega Man holding a pistol box art.
I remember
Oh
that.
yeah, that cover is funny.
That's
I
fucking
thought,
great.
what's his name? Matsushimura was the inventor of Mega Man.
No, it's definitely Infune.
What the fuck?
I
Really?
don't know who you're talking about. But
He was the
Welcome
lead
to the Mega Man
programmer.
podcast.
Who's
We're gonna talk all
Miyamoto?
Mega Man all the time. That's Nintendo guy. He's Mario and Zelda and everything good that is
That's
on
the name.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah, Matsushima. Yeah, he was like the lead programmer, I thought, because that was a game. Wasn't it released by?
I'm not talking about the fucking programmer. I'm
Yeah, we're talking about
the
the,
guy
like-
that invented the story and the characters and the art and.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are talking about it from
The actual
a different perspective.
the
I'm
actual
sorry.
creator of the idea of everything. And he was
Oh,
also
I-
like lead person on every single Mega Man project for a long time.
Okay, I was thinking of Capcom and the programmer and
Oh no.
the NES box that I had in my room. And okay,
All right, we're going
all right.
back to a
Different
retro
generations.
gaming podcast now. Fuck horror movies. Dave Z, what have you been up to this week?
you know, it's actually for the first time in a while, it's been pretty uneventful. Just working like everybody else, regular 8-hour days, and chilling, watching movies, watching a lot of slashers, watching 2017 horror movies, and yeah, just watching stuff for podcasts. Really, just kicking it. You know, not much. I went to the movies yesterday. I saw the new Annabelle.
Oh yeah,
So-
thumbs up, thumbs down. How you like? Not don't
Yeah.
give a full thing, but because I know you're probably going to do it on Exploding Heads. But thumbs up, thumbs down.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's funny because we have the show wasn't out yet, but by the time it comes out, this comes out, you probably. Oh, who knows? It's hard to say. You do it in like a day, so I don't know. But
That's true.
somebody asked us a question last show, and they said, "What do you think about the buzz about this Annabelle yada yada?" And I was like, I predict that this is going to be just like Ouija Origins was, because it was better than the first, but I don't think it's going to be like freaking a top 10 movie of the year. And
I
sure
said
enough.
the same thing.
And guess what? That's the impression I got when I left yesterday. That it's better than the first for sure. It's a good movie. It's not great, but it's definitely worth your time. So it's just a decent.
I thought the first Annabelle was fucking terrible.
Most
Everybody-
people do.
Everybody thinks that. I'll tell you what.
Everyone
I had to
thinks.
Listen, I had to watch the first 15 minutes again yesterday because the way this one ends, the new one, it sets it up, and I had to be refreshed because I only saw it once. Sure enough, I start watching it with my wife, and we're 15 minutes in, and I wanted to keep watching it. And everybody hates it, and to me, it's just like an average flick.
I didn't hate it. I would have gave it so much more props if at the end when she was smacking the doll against the wall and then threw it and it started to cry, if she had actually killed her baby. I'd be like, best horror movie ever.
Yeah, it would have helped. And the baby in the beginning,
Fair
the baby
enough.
in the
See,
beginning got
That's how
stabbed.
bad I hated it, because I don't even remember what the fuck you're talking about.
Fair enough. Well,
I just know I've seen it.
so tonight, guys, we've got a very special occasion. We are doing Best of the 2000s, where all 5 of us will go through and pick our favorite movie, plus a runner-up for each year, 2000 to 2009. We have done this twice now. The first one was me, Kenneth, and Jay, as we did Best of the 80s. And then Alex paid me money to use the idea for the Skeleton Crew. And then I backdoored him and made sure that I also got to be on the show. Then Kenneth backdoored me so he could be on the show. So Best of the
yeah.
90s was a Skeleton Crew show that had Alex, Dan, me, and Kenneth.
It was
And-
basically a train on Alex.
Yeah, well, I mostly just talk shit to Dave. Not Dave. What the fuck?
Me?
Dan.
Dan.
You
I
wish
was-
it was me.
I was looking at you, and you're getting my kicks off.
Yeah! Boom! Love them kicks,
So,
man.
oh, by the way, JP,
Yo.
cat.
Whoa,
Oh,
that's
wow.
insane.
I told you. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Because I'm gonna leave this.
It's
in,
like
but,
weighted down.
Yeah, he's good. I can lean all the way back. He's fine. He is a master at that whole thing.
Cats do have balance. Cats do have balance.
So, with that being said, we are going to do that whole damn thing. All of us, everyone strap in. This is going to be a long show, and I know everyone's going, what the fuck, Kill the Cast? Quit doing long shows. I promise you we will go back to shorter shows here soon. Our ideas are just getting bigger than our dicks, unfortunately.
Bigger than your dick.
Way, way bigger.
Yeah. Jay's the only one here who has a penis that can be seen without the use of a microscope.
I know. I've seen it.
So, with that being said, we're going to kick off the party with the year 2000. And
Dracula 2000.
God damn it, Jay, you're fired. Shit. We're starting with Kenneth. Kenneth, what movies are you picking for the year 2000?
Okay, so I'm going to start off very first with I don't give a fuck whether it says two. I couldn't choose between these three. So it's going to be American Psycho, Ginger Snaps, and Requiem for a Dream.
All right, start explaining.
Okay. American Psycho and Ginger Snaps, they need no explanation. Okay. If people out there haven't seen American Psycho and Ginger Snaps, then why are you listening to this podcast?
Maybe so they can get suggestions on good horror movies, Kenneth.
Yeah, you did.
I don't give a fuck. Okay, when it really comes down to it, I don't care. Requiem for a Dream, on the other hand, it's one of those movies that's horrific to me. And the reason being is because, I'm a recovering addict. I've been an addict, recovering addict for going on 12 years now. And, so that's how long I've been sober. And I view Requiem for a Dream as addiction being the monster. And if other people watch this movie and see it that way after me saying this, then, I think it's a great thing. And that's the way I look at it. And it even ends horrifying. You see these terrible things that are happening to these people because of their horrible choices that they're making. Even that guy's mom, you know what I'm saying? She gets all tripped out on diet pills and a refrigerator is going to attack her. And then the end of it where Buddy loses his arm because his track marks get infected. So, that whole thing to me is just, I'd probably have to put that. American Psycho and Ginger Snaps are two of my favorites, but I'd probably have to put Requiem for a Dream at the top. That movie's fucked up and it was awesome. And it had great acting in it.
Fair enough. And I knew you when you did drugs and it was funny to watch you.
Yeah.
No joke. One time we went to a concert. I think it was an ICP concert. It was either ICP or Twisted, one of the two. Kenneth and this other guy. If you go to a Juggalo show, you end up going a couple hours early, and like people grill
and then
out.
Everybody stands outside and says "whoop whoop."
Yeah, like 20 million times, and you grill out. And in
Yeah.
Georgia gets crazy. Like we have wrestling going on. We've got new chicks going on. Remember that one time I skateboarded? I tried to kickflip off that huge fucking ledge into grass. That was a terrible idea.
You can't kickflip.
I couldn't. I fucking failed that shit. But Kenneth passed out next to another guy. They were both just sitting in random lawn chairs because they had both just eaten too many Xanaxes.
Yeah.
It was
There's
hilarious.
pictures floating around somewhere of both of us just passed out next to each other.
Oh yeah, I gotta find.
And this
those
was
pictures.
it, like, this was the from the pictures. Apparently, I was passed out at 4 p.m, and it looked like I should have been passed out after a whole night at about 3 or 4 a.m.
And also keep in mind, this is when Kenneth had no hair. He had like a shaved head, and like he had just like a small goatee. That was it. It was crazy looking. So, with that being said, JP, what you got?
All right, so one of my first, I was gonna ask Kenneth why he would consider Requiem for a Dream horror. That was what I was gonna ask, but he explained it. My runner-up is Ginger Snaps, which I agree, man. To me, it's my favorite werewolf film of all time. I love the use of the period and becoming a woman tied in with the the menstrual cycle and the cycle of the werewolf. Like I just think it's genius. I've seen it done slightly before, but it's never been done like that. I love Ginger and her sister. Just a great dynamic. Catherine Isabel's awesome. It has a good atmosphere to it. It's set on Halloween. I like that these two sisters are so close and they're kind of like taking these pictures, just weirdos. You know what I mean? I just like that movie a lot. And my number one.
Hold on. That movie pisses me off because after I saw it, I tried to become a woman so I could become a werewolf. Did not become a werewolf at all. That movie's a fucking liar.
Did you get bit by a wolf?
Well, no, but I just thought if I became a woman, it would just happen.
No.
Yeah, but see that dude was doing that too, and he got his period when he was peeing in the urinal.
I never pissed blood. Not once. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Anyway, what's your number one?
My number one is Requiem for a Dream. And I picked
shit.
Requiem for a Dream for similar reasons. Like I mean, drugs have greatly affected, my life. Not me directly, but family, friends, things like that. And I think it's one of the most powerful, shocking, terrifying movies ever. Especially, like he said with the mother, man. I mean, because it's somebody that you don't expect. It could happen to anybody. She didn't know what she was doing. She starts taking all these diet pills. She, gets crazy. That was shocking to me. And the lead guy and his arm is just, I've known so many people who've died from heroin and overdosed and got abscessed in their arm or whatever that is. And it's just brutal. It's brutal. And one of the funniest things or one of the craziest things about the movie is Marlon Wayans. Like this guy who's usually doing these comedies and these like spoofs has like a really serious role and he kills it. It's a great movie. I think I know most people wouldn't consider it horror, but it is so dark, and that's why it's my number one from the year. If I didn't include it, Ginger Snaps would be my number one, and Blair Witch 2 would be my runner up.
I had a hard time not mentioning Blair Witch 2. I had a hard time not mentioning it because I think it's better than the first one, and
you also hate the first one, Kenneth. So.
That's true.
I love the first one, and I love the sequel.
I actually like that new one better than I like the original. I mean, I still own the original, but I like that new one that just came out better.
I knew Kenneth was a phony. See, I don't even own the first Blair Witch.
Phony, you big fat phony.
And
I felt super confident coming in with Requiem for a Dream after he did, because it was funny because that's what I was asking you before the show. I was like, can I cheat? Because I was like, okay, I'll say these three, and then it won't be as bad with Requiem. But then I just bumped Blair Witch off after he said Requiem. So.
yeah. Oh, that
I'm glad I could do that for you, dude.
It works out. So
I've never seen it. But
no! Oh my god, man!
Yeah, neither have I.
So good.
Such a good movie.
I've owned it.
Jay,
over 10 years.
I
had
don't.
the DVD.
I don't know how much you will like it, Jay, since it is a drug movie, and you've been really good about never touching a drug because you're better than most of us.
Yeah, but I like fucked up shit. So
You do like fucked up shit, so you might actually like it.
It's disturbing, and the score is one of the best parts of it. The score is used over and over again in other things.
I see a reunion of the show where we all five just get together and review Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And then on top of that, you get Jennifer Connelly's stunt ass. I guess that's how you would say that. Because it's not really her going ass to ass with the double-headed dildo, but it looks like her, sort of.
Yeah.
I can pretend. All right, Jay, what do you got for 2000?
Runner up, I have American Psycho. It's a great flick. Everyone should watch it. Number one is Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I knew somebody was going to come in with Battle Royale.
Unbelievable. Wait till you get to mine. Oh,
So, okay, so what do you like best about the Hunger Games? I meant Battle Royale. My Battle Royale.
Hey, Battle Royale did it first.
Battle Royale was first. The book was
guys,
first.
Guys, I know. I was making a joke.
I don't think you know.
I literally
That
own the
joke was
book.
Terrible.
I own the
Yeah,
book.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you own the book. That doesn't mean you know anything.
I own the book. I own you. I own this podcast. I own God. I rented the devil for a day, but my spoon wasn't long enough to have dinner with him. So I think I know what I'm talking about, Jay. Okay?
Oh, all right. Fine then. I love the concept of the government taking its worst children and making them kill each other. That's fucking great.
I agree. We need to institutionalize it now.
We should do something like that here.
Show up at your door. Knock, knock. We saw your vine. Come with us.
Also, the teacher role, not teacher, I guess, but the old dude at the beginning that like shoots the kid in the head after he tells everyone the rules.
That dude is awesome. He's in so
Did you know
many
on
good movies.
IMDb it does not classify Battle Royale as horror?
Which is bullshit.
Google classified it when I typed in horror movies 2000 and it popped right up.
Yeah.
True.
So
Me and
It's
Jerry
weird,
were
though.
talking about this last night. It is weird.
Yeah.
It is weird.
When we
I don't
did
know
our
if
thing,
I could see the argument for it not being a horror movie, but I could also see the argument for it being a horror movie. So
I can see the argument, but so many films that are less horror are classified as horror, which makes me wonder.
Okay, hold on.
Right.
Before I let Dave Z go, how do y'all see an argument? I usually only hear them.
with words, stupid.
Do you not see my face?
I'm trying not to. Dave, you had a point you were trying to make. What was it?
I was gonna say, well, we did a list on Exploding Heads once, not too long ago, and it was the top 20 films since of the millennium, since the year 2000. And I ended up leaving Battle Royale and another one off the list. I still shouted them out only because I was going strictly by IMDb that particular show. So I left it off, but I do believe, in my opinion, that it should be on. I think it is horror. I mean, if Requiem's horror, although I haven't seen Requiem.
Requiem's less horror than Battle Royale.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Dave, what else do you believe in the year 2000?
It's funny because the year 2000 is such a great year. Well, first and foremost, I had the exact same picks in the exact same order that Jay had. My number 1 was Battle Royale. My number 2 is American Psycho. And Battle Royale to me is an epic movie. It's like Dawn of the Dead in a way, where I could just put it on anytime and watch it, and it's like 2 hours long, and it's interesting as fuck, and it's amazing. It's just it's a comfort movie like Dawn is. I could just put it on any time and just roll with it. And American Psycho, I mean, Patrick Bateman is one of the best freaking characters we've ever had in horror. I love those charismatic killers. There's so few of them. I love it. I think the movie itself is just brilliant. Both it's such a great year because I left my very favorite werewolf movie ever off the list. Ginger Snaps is my favorite. I left it off, and I left something else off the list. So I mean, it's an amazing year. I think 2000.
Well, I guess it's up to me to return the VHS tapes in with 2 picks that none of y'all have picked. My runner-up is Shadow of the Vampire, a very great horror drama that takes the... Okay, this is a movie, like, when I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be dumb as shit. You're literally taking the movie Nosferatu and then saying that they actually found a vampire and made the movie with an actual real vampire. That sounds dumb as shit to me, but it wasn't. I was entertained the whole time, and I think they do a good job recreating Nosferatu as a real vampire. Max Schreck is played by William Dafoe, and it's fucking fantastic. It's the perfect blend of putting fiction in a non-fiction event.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a
I've never
fantastic
seen it.
movie.
You've never seen it?
I've always wanted to see
good.
it. It always sounded interesting to me,
It is
Jerry.
so-
I've seen people review it, and it always looks so cool, but I just never got around to it.
I highly recommend it. I booted a lot of movies that y'all picked off the list to include it. And my number 1 is Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. It is a sequel to the original anime, but it's actually based off the 3rd novel in the series. And it's kind of funny. Both my picks are vampires. I'm actually not a big vampire fan. But
You are.
just because I suck does not mean I'm a big vampire fan, Jay. There's a difference between sucking blood and sucking dick. Dick is just filled with blood, but no blood comes out. I'm not looking for the blood to come out, Jay.
You must be doing it wrong then.
Wait, how are you doing it?
Come on, never seen
I was going
Antichrist?
to ask a little bit ago if y'all cuss on this show.
Huh? No, we don't fucking cuss on this show. Jesus, what are you, a pedophile?
Yeah, watch
God.
your goddamn mouth.
Yeah, anyway. Okay, so, but while I'm not a big fan of vampires, I am a big fan of vampire hunters. Whether it's Castlevania.
Never heard somebody say that.
You've never heard Vampire Hunter?
I'm not a big fan of vampires. I'm a big fan of Vampire Hunter.
I am. I like to kill vampires. Fucking Castlevania and Vampire D. Anyway, listen to these motherfuckers. This movie
Good shit.
is amazing. Go see the original Vampire D, and don't worry, because I'm probably going to make our boy JP watch this soon with my Patreon picks. After I find a copy of the shittiest shot on video film I can find to make Jeremy watch, which might be one of the crazy fat Ethel movies.
This is becoming fun because we got some bad stuff coming Dave's way too.
Oh shit!
Shit.
That's all right. I've got Brandon and Moods going head to head on reviewing the same movie. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so that's it. Those are the movies for 2000. So we're gonna move into 2001, and that brings us back to the Silent Hill biker himself.
All right, so my 2001 was pretty easy to go with, but I got The Others as my runner-up, and I've got 13 Ghosts as my my number one.
And that's where my quote is from, for those who don't know.
Oh,
I
the
was
others?
wondering where it was from. I was going to ask, but I didn't want to be rude before I was introduced.
Me too. I didn't know.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts, Matthew Lillard.
I did my best Matthew Lillard impersonation.
You hit me with the phone, Dick. That's my favorite line.
That was good.
But I chose The Others because I've always liked the concept of the ghosts not knowing they're dead, and you go through the whole thing, and they don't really know they're dead. So I really like that, and other ones that are like it too. The Haunted that came out for a while, Sixth Sense, all those. I thought those. I really dig those. And then 13 Ghosts is just badass all the way around. I mean, it's got great comedy in it. It's got really, 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 iconic actors in it. The characters, the look of the ghosts were just fantastic. Especially, the hot naked one with cuts.
I was gonna say, how many times have you jacked off to that one chick?
Dude, I don't know, a lot.
I don't know. Endless amounts.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just overall, it was a really, really good time. It was a good remake. I liked it.
I looked up the chick who played her once to see if she'd done anything else, and she's literally done like nothing else.
Nope.
Maybe she got into porn. Maybe she's in porn under a different name.
Nope.
Yeah.
I would know it.
We do our homework around
Like,
here.
I know every single porn actress of all time.
Actually, no. Kenneth probably does know close to every porn actress in the world. I don't. The only person I know.
Does
who
he know the girl from Married with Children who we just covered?
Oh,
I haven't listened to the episode yet.
It's not out yet.
but she was in a previous episode. It's the chick Jade, played by Terry Wiggle.
Terry Wiggle?
Yeah, her.
Oh, everyone knows Terry Weagle.
Really?
Yeah. She was
name.
famous in her day.
Some of
Dave
us
Warner.
didn't have to watch 80s porn because we were lucky enough to grow up with the internet. So
I was just about to say, Dave, how old are you?
Me? I just turned
Old as
45.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
Never.
You would know as well as me and as well as Jay, I think. I don't know about Jay. Watching porn on VHS back in the day.
I've watched porn on VHS.
I used to have a badass collection of porn on VHS,
It
actually.
sucks when the movie's like 4 hours long and you only want to watch one scene and there's no chapter select on like a DVD. So you're fucking fast forwarding through like 2.5 hours of porn just to find that one scene. Like, god damn, I just want to see her take it in the ass.
I would fast forward and jack off faster.
Kenneth's over here he was like, I like it when I fast forward. I get to see everything and it makes me work harder.
Hell yeah, speed beating.
I used to make mixtapes.
Speed beating.
I used to make mixtapes of porn with VHS. Because VHSs were 6 hours. So what I would do is I would find my favorite girls. I would go rent the film.
The first compilation, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, dude. I would just put scene after scene after scene from different movies into a 6 hour tape, and I had like 10 6-hour tapes, and I made them over the course of like a year or two. And man, that shit.
Hell yeah, Dave Zee's butt nuggets.
I actually saw the last one he ever made. It was called the pH virus. It was very good.
Oh, crap. That fucking bitch.
That's a secret joke for anyone who's been listening to Dave for a very fucking long time. So
virus.
let's get back. Oh, okay, Kenneth. So, I guess you're done. You explained that you picked one because of a naked chick with cuts.
Woo!
That makes sense. JP, what you got?
All right. First, I do want to say I love 13 Ghosts. I'm just scared to rewatch it because like House on Haunted Hill, which came out around the same time. I loved that when I was a kid. Rewatched it, not great. The remake, obviously, but 13 Ghosts. I love the mythology between all the ghosts and how they didn't really tell you much about them, but you could make a backstory in your head and stuff. So that's a good pick. You know, I was considering that one myself, but it's been so long since I've seen it. So my number runner-up,
Yeah, that's fine.
is Jeepers Creepers.
There you go.
I absolutely love this movie. I think it's one of the coolest modern takes on a monster. How many monsters have been created since, you know, the 80s? Like none. Like there's no monsters. And
Since
the Creeper is one. Well, yeah, I mean since after the 80s.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so technically the 90s. So like, but he's like a legit monster. Like you can put him up there with like the monsters that you know, like Creature from the Black Lagoon and stuff like that. He has his own unique like thing. I like the 23 days thing. It's just actually scary. Like it's a horror movie that's attempting to scare you, and I like that about it because you don't see that too often. There's like little to no comedy in it at all. It got cool mythology. It scared the shit out of me when I seen it. I think I was like 11 or something like that.
All right. Well, you know, I've got to ask the question. What do you think of the fact that Justin Bieber is a monster and you're just acting like he doesn't exist? He was created after the 80s.
That's not the question I thought you were going to ask.
Of course.
that is.
I did that on purpose. I'm not going to bring up that travesty on this show. Anyway,
I don't hate Justin Bieber. How about that?
Okay.
I don't see.
So hold on, I gotta write something down. Jeremy is not the biggest homosexual on 22 shots. Okay, continue.
And my number one is actually a little interesting because anybody who's listened to 22 shots for a while knows that me and Dave and the rest of the crew, Exploding Heads and 22 Shots, did a show for 2002, and basically my number one technically actually came out in 2001, so I'm putting it here, and it is Frailty. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. Amazing movie. I absolutely love it. It's just one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. Has a great twist to it, even though I think I debated Jerry on the twist too.
I was just going to say Jerry hated it.
Yeah, I didn't like the twist.
What?
I didn't like twist. Yeah, I didn't like twist.
Bill Paxton kills it.
I'm
man.
done.
I love it. It's a good movie.
Wait, that's all I had to do to get you off the show, Jay? Was to just tell you that I didn't like the twist and Frailty?
Yeah.
This whole fucking time, I've been sending you pictures of my dick next to a fucking Green Ranger toy.
Those.
Oh, you like... Fuck! God, I'm really bad at this whole life thing.
So
Yeah, you do suck at life.
Hold on, I'm contemplating if there's a way out of this. There's not. So, Jay, what are your favorite fucking movies?
My runner-up was Frailty. I love it just as much as everybody else, except for Jerry, because he's stupid.
He forgot my name.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I'm fucking terrible with names. I can't even remember the names of characters in fucking
It's
movies. I couldn't
literally like the first part of your name.
I couldn't tell you the names of any of the characters in Frailty right now. Not one. I'm so bad with names. Absolutely fucking garbage with the names. Either way,
That's true. He called me Jennifer for like 3 months.
Fit Meeks.
Was it because of the wig?
I really like Frailty. 13 Ghosts was my number one though.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Okay, well, Dave, what do you got for us?
Okay. I gotta say again, 2001 is another great year because I have like 4 movies that I think are excellent this year. But ultimately, my runner-up is Session 9, which there's just something about that film, and it didn't really.
Good movie.
It hit me really, really hard the third time I saw it. First time I saw it, there was buzz behind it. I watched it, and I'm like, I didn't like it. It didn't do anything for me. Then I said, okay, I'll give it another chance. And then the second time, I liked it a little more. Then I had friends over, and I said, check this movie out. And I watched it, and ever since that third view, it just really took me to a place where I was like, this movie is fucking completely creeping me out. And that doesn't happen. It legitimately, like, disturbs me in like a weird way with some of the stuff going on in there. It's just, I don't know. If anyone hasn't seen it, please do.
I have
Yeah, it's
not.
such a-
I will have to check it out.
Oh, dude,
I haven't
see it.
seen it either.
Oh man, I hope you get it your first time. You may not. It's just one of those films. It isn't like anything goes over your head. It's just that the impact of the atmosphere didn't hit me until later. It's just one of those things that didn't hit me the first time. But very atmospheric and some real creepy shit going on. So that's my runner-up, and my number one has been said. It's Frailty. I mean,
Nice.
It's
You
incredible.
switched it too? You switched it to 2001 from 2002?
I just googled 2001 horror movies and it popped up.
Yeah,
Oh
same.
yeah, we did do it on the 2002 show.
Yeah, because it was my number one.
I didn't even realize I did it. I just forgot. I was wondering what. It's funny because when I looked at the 2002, I was trying to figure the movie that's my runner-up for this show. I was like, this was not my runner-up when we did it on 22 Shots. So Frailty was. Now it makes sense. But either way, yeah, I did it too. Frailty is an amazing film. Love it. And that twist, my jaw hit the floor the first time I saw it, and it just it got me good. I think it's great.
so
Yep.
great.
Jerry's just stupid and probably didn't understand it.
We already decided that my bias towards God was what might have been the turnoff, but I still don't think it was
I wasn't
my
part of this
bias.
conversation.
That's true.
That
You
was-
were not.
Didn't you and I have that?
Yeah, you and I had that conversation, and I think when I told JP about it, he called me out on that bias also. But
I
don't-
hate God too, but I
Yeah?
still think the movie was good.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I don't get that really, man. I don't believe in a I don't believe in a lot of things I find scary.
That's true.
I don't find God scary. I find people scary. Okay, so 2001, I am going to once again hit y'all with two movies that have not been named.
Damn.
So I'm
dude.
2 for 2 so far.
You doing this on purpose?
You should have gone first. Fuck,
actually,
I don't wanna your movies.
He has
Actually,
two lists. He
Jay-
has two lists, and he just picks the one that nobody said.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're like the Andrew Scheuer of list making.
all right,
Just
calm
say
down
the,
over
the
there.
most batshit stuff. Just
Okay,
to get a rise
JP.
up people.
With my runner-up, you're going to have two questions. I'm going to answer both of them, so let me finish, okay?
Okay.
I knew when I wrote this you would have this. My
Okay.
runner-up
Finish.
is Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack. Okay?
Yeah, Mothra sucks.
Okay,
Fuck them.
okay.
love Mothra.
Look, I'm gonna JP. I'm gonna make you want to watch this movie. Okay, check this. Okay. All right. So once again, we come back to kaiju, and once again, I have rules for a Godzilla movie being horror. My two rules are: Godzilla needs to be the bad guy, and he goes back to being the bad guy, and
Nice.
he is dope in this because his eyes are all fucking white, and it's beast of
Sweet.
shit looking. Two, I need to see people actually dying, and it can't just be generic city fall over, assuming people die. I have to see
City
people
fall
die. And one of the early scenes of this movie is literally Mothra as her larva form drowning a bunch of teenagers who were going to drown a dog in a box.
What
Woo!
the fuck? That makes
Wow.
her the hero.
Yeah,
Wait, Mothra?
yeah, Mothra did that. Okay, but JP, even if you're still like fuck Mothra, Mothra gets killed in this movie by Godzilla.
All right.
Like
That's
not
better. That's better.
not bullshit
better.
kill, but straight up gets killed, and then Mothra's soul goes into Ghidorah to make Ghidorah King Ghidorah, and then
A moth has a soul.
yeah,
What the
Mothra's the
fuck?
guardian. Well, in this movie,
Awesome.
Mothra, Baragon, and King Ghidorah are guardian heroes, and that's a big part of the movie of how they're using this mythology to explain all these weird occurrences that are happening, like a submarine being destroyed, but it was actually because of Godzilla. Anyway, so the ending is fucking insane. It's great, and it fits my rule for Godzilla being a horror movie. So I just wanted to let JP know that
Okay.
Mothra
Because
kills...
I do consider Godzilla 1 and 2 horror. I
One
like
and
both
two.
of them. By
Wait,
the time I got to
Godzilla
the
Raids
Moth, I was
again?
like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Hold up, Times. You think Godzilla Raids Again is horror?
I can't really remember it. It might not be.
Well, okay, well,
I
what do you
don't-
consider Godzilla-
1 definitely is.
Yeah, no, I
have them
100%.
over here.
I 100% Godzilla 1. Anyway, so, and
Gojira.
my number one, and you're going to hear this a lot, is a Japanese crime horror created by one of the greatest directors out there, in my opinion, and that's Takashi Miike. We are talking Ichi the Killer. I love
Fucking
Japanese
awesome movie.
crime horror
I've
movies.
never seen it.
Oh, dude,
What?
it's so
dude, it's
own it.
great.
It has gore. It's got weird, just fucked up sexual shit. It does the
Hot
perfect
grease.
hot grease, suspension, hookers, semen on houseplants. It's got everything you could want in a movie. And it's Takashi Miike, so you know it's going to be fucking shot out. And it's great. I love Kakihara. He's one of my favorite fucking villains. And Ichi might be one of the most unique protagonists of a movie ever made. And it's just a prime example of
protagonist, and his name's Ichi the Killer.
Yes.
Dude, trust me. Trust me. It is so good, man. I'll put it to you this way. I wanted it so bad that I stole it.
Hey, I stole mine too.
I stole it from the store.
Yeah. Hey, does yours...
Still
okay.
sealed.
Yours is probably the edited version. Did you check?
Mine's the R-rated version.
R-rated. Okay, so yeah. So here's what I did. There was a small uncut version that was put out, but I didn't get it. I accidentally bought the edited version. But Netflix had the uncut version back when you could order in the DVDs. I ordered it in, took off the white ring label, put it on my edited one, and sent it back because the Netflix was under my brother's name.
Yes.
Yeah, it was under my brother's name, not mine. I don't give a fuck. So my Ichi the Killer.
Some poor dude's like, man, I can't wait to see the uncut version of Ichi the Killer. And he's like, man,
Well,
that seems very similar to the cut version.
You know what I say? Fuck
That
'em.
same poor dude has been waiting in his queue to watch Monster Man for fucking 3 years now.
Oh, I don't even want to get on Kenneth's Netflix shit. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, you're going to hear a
Ichi
lot
was
about...
on Netflix too. It was streaming on Netflix. That's
Well,
how I first saw it.
When I got the DVD, Netflix was not streaming.
Oh,
I have been on
what a
Netflix.
day.
I have
This was
been
a
on...
grip ago.
Yeah, I've been on Netflix since, like, it first started.
Yeah, me
too.
too,
Me
man.
too.
And I was jacking Jerry's Netflix back then too.
Oh my-
like
do
when
you
you had to
remember-
get the disc in to watch it on your PlayStation.
Yeah, to stream,
Jerry
you had to get the disc in.
Yeah, to be able to stream, Jerry called Netflix and said that he lost his and got another one and gave it to me. So
Yeah.
that way I can steal his Netflix back.
Sorry,
then.
Netflix. Anyway, so we're going back to the man who has a PlayStation 3 Netflix streaming disc. Kenneth, 2002, what you got?
All right, so my runner-up, and this was very, very difficult for me because this is my favorite werewolf movie, which is Dog Soldiers.
Good flick.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
I'm
Ginger
surprised it's not your
Snaps.
first.
Yeah, Ginger Snaps is right up underneath it. Nope, my first for 2002 was 28 Days Later. That was my number one. To me, that is, aside from Romero's movies, 28 Days Later was one of the best zombie movies. And technically, they're not zombies, but it's still that same premise. To me,
You sound like me, man, because I make that argument all the time. I'm like, yeah, technically they're not zombies, but it's a fucking zombie movie. Same
Right.
shit happens.
And to me, like I said, aside from the Romero's movies, that to me is the best zombie movie that has come out in a very, very long time. I thought it was amazing. It was amazing.
Fair enough. Well, JP?
And by the way,
okay.
hang on,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, JP.
Cool.
On a side note, doing this list reminded me of how much time I spent in the movie theater in this decade. There was a lot of time I spent in the movie theater. Me and my dad went and saw a lot of these movies in the theater.
That's cool, man. I missed out on a lot of this. I wasn't really a horror. I was a big horror fan as a child, all the way up until the late 90s. And then I didn't really watch horror until about 2004 or 5 again. So I missed the early 2000s, and I was still a kid. You know?
Right about the time you started banging chicks to Nightmare on Elm Street 4?
Correct. So
That was such a great story.
Okay. All right, JP, what you got?
Carly gave me shit for that. She's like, you made it sound way cooler than when you told it to me.
Well, okay, Carly.
Of course, it's common sense.
In
You know what it
JP's
sounds like.
I'm on a
defense,
damn podcast, man.
he's on a podcast. He's got to make it better. And I also maybe paid him money to make everything sound better. Maybe. Did I bribe him with money?
Allegedly.
Allegedly?
That story was almost as good as shit in a pizza box.
That story was almost as good
Amazing. My father just brought that up about 2 hours ago. It's my father's birthday. Somehow the conversation started about concerts and toilets and stuff. And he goes, and look at you. You went to Woodstock and you actually shit in a pizza box. I'm like, yeah, yes, I did.
Well, at least he brought up that story and not the other story you have of having sex with someone who then said you were a rapist, who then said that they were lying,
That
who
shit
you then
fucked
went
up.
and had sex with again. Dave, what the fuck?
And And if I was single and I saw her out now, I would have sex with her again.
You love playing with fire, don't you?
No, dude, I'm sorry. She's just that attractive. I'm sorry. Like,
Wait,
yeah.
but isn't she white?
Yeah, believe it or not, but she looks like a porn star, like a blonde, big lip white girl porn star, just like ridiculously hot, oozing sex when you look at her. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, fair enough.
Dave turned on right now.
I'm kind of I'm so turned on. I forgot what we were doing. We're still on you, JP, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're still inside JP. Go ahead.
All right. So, this is the year that's probably most familiar with me because this is one of the years that we actually watched dozens of films for in preparation for our top 10 show. And I will probably say that it's different than my top 10 list.
Oh, shit. You hear that, guys? He's a liar.
He's always got tricky rating games and shit. This guy.
So the way I did this list for tonight's show is I went with my favorite
Which
over
is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, normally when I do these top 10 lists and stuff like that, I go with the film that I have highest rated as my number one and then down the list.
Yeah.
So,
but this is Kill the Cast, and we don't do that shit here. We're fucking rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically here what I got is my runner-up is actually my runner-up from my original list, which is The Ring. I love The Ring, man. It's a good scary movie. I don't really like a whole lot of the Japanese ghost movies from Japan. And I don't like their counterpart remakes usually, but this one just hit on all cylinders for me. It's a movie that I love the look of. You hear it all the time when people review it. It's like the washed out colors, the blue, the Samara is actually pretty scary. It's one that freaked me out. I remember people using the phone and calling each other, prank calling each other like 7 days and shit when this movie came out and stuff. It was like kind of had a tidal wave of effect. So that's why it's my runner-up. But my number one is my new favorite movie from this year. I believe it made my number 4 spot in my top 10, but it's all the way up to my favorite movie from this year. And it's Dahmer, dude. This movie like blew my socks off. I loved it. It was so good. I'd never seen a serial killer movie that I liked that much. You know, it's just so nasty and it's beautifully shot. The acting is phenomenal. Like this guy just reminds me of Jeffrey Dahmer, and Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the honestly what I think is the most interesting serial killer of all time, just because. You know, how he should have got caught a couple times and just a bizarre story, man. So Dahmer is fantastic. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it too. If you're going to watch one movie from 2002 that you haven't seen, make it Dahmer.
I agree. Dahmer is fantastic.
I've never seen it.
They had a run of those too. They did Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and Ed Gein, and I think they did a fourth one, and I can't remember.
They did
the fourth
Gacy
one.
as well.
Yeah, Gacy. That's the fourth. Yeah, and they did that run. Did you see the others?
I think
JP?
wasn't the Hillside Stranglers movie also around the same time?
They were cranking them out back then. I actually got this, Bundy, and I think Ed Gein in a box set. So the 3 of them came in a box set, but I think from like 2001 to like 2003, they did like 4 or 5 of them in a row.
Mm-hmm. Didn't the Gacy one have that dude that was in? He was the bigger guy that was in the speaking of the Teen Wolf movie from Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, that's Francis. That's
him?
Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's great. That's why it's hysterical. I laugh because I'm always picturing Francis.
Oh,
right.
man.
Yeah, that was the Gacy one, and then I own the Ted Bundy one. I thought that one was hilarious.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he's like smacking people in the head with the bar pipes and shit.
All right. Speaking of serial killers, Jay, what you got?
Not a dead body in my basement.
We hope
That's
so.
number 34.
What are we on? 2002.
Yeah.
All right. So my runner-up is Ghost Ship. Cause
Ugh. No way, dude.
Hey, fuck you all.
It's not so bad. I
Ghost
watched it for the
Ship.
first time
Wait,
this
why-
year.
I love it.
Time out.
Yeah.
Time out. Why would you watch a ghost take a shit?
No, you're
Oh,
reaching on
shit.
that one. Sorry.
That's a movie. That's the next
as
sci-fi
bad as
channel
that's
movie.
as bad as my score joke that I made the last episode.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But my number one is 28 Days Later.
Okay.
Haha.
for the same reasons that have already been said.
Okay, but back on this Ghost Ship. Why do you like Ghost Ship?
Because it's good. The opening scene is fucking fantastic.
It peaks in the first 10 seconds. You're right.
No,
I'm sorry, I
but
can't
the-
disagree with Jay.
Whoa. It
I
is-
can't
okay,
disagree.
listen,
Ghost Ship was
it's
good.
not
I
me.
enjoyed it.
To me, Ghost Ship felt more like a Resident Evil movie than fucking Resident Evil.
Yeah, and first of all, you can peek
Which
in
is
the
also
first,
from this year,
you
2002.
can
Yeah, I know.
peek in the first 10 seconds and still be good. Okay.
Yeah,
It's true. It's true, but this one did not do that.
All right, we
You
got
know,
our.
like Gabriel
I liked
Byrne too.
I like.
All right, hold on.
Okay?
I've never seen Ghost Ship, so I can't. Kenneth likes it. JP doesn't
It's
like
not
it.
a bad movie.
Dave.
I mean, I watched it for 2002. I had seen it when I was a kid. I think I kind of liked it. I just got real bored after the opening scene. I don't know.
I have a 4-pack DVD that has it on there, but I didn't watch it because it also had like Gothica and Queen of the Damned and something
Watch it
else.
for next show.
Oh.
Watch it for next show. Queen of the Damned also came out in 2002.
Yeah.
And it was fucking
I
terrible.
never saw it.
Yeah,
yeah.
that movie is boring as fuck too.
Yeah, but
But
she's so
that's
hot.
okay. The soundtrack is actually my runner-up for 2000. No, I'm just kidding.
The
It's a good
soundtrack to Queen of the Damned is the only reason why my dad and I did not walk out of the theater for Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
Because of the
Wow.
fucking soundtrack. That was it.
All right.
Wow.
Speaking of the soundtrack to the world's greatest podcast, Dave, what do you got for 2002?
All right. Okay. My runner-up is The Ring. I love The Ring. It's one of the few remakes that I think is just about on par with the original, the Japanese.
You think the original is better?
No, it's on par with it. They're very close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the few. It's one of the
Yeah.
few that really is to me. And they're very different. Not very, but they're different movies in what they do with their
They feel
execution.
different.
Yeah, they definitely feel different. I actually like some of the stuff they did in the American remake with the lighthouse and the investigation and how they went into the mythology more and everything else. That stuff was actually cool. So The Ring was my number one. Pardon me. The Ring was my runner-up, number two. And my number one is Ju-on the Grudge because I love it. I love that series. I wanted to put Ju-on the Curse 1 and 2 because they both came out in the year 2000 as my runners-up, and I didn't. But, yeah, I love that movie. It's one of the few movies that really creeps me out no matter how many times I've seen it. There's just a certain vibe and an atmosphere in that film that just gets me. So
I think you do need to see it a few times, man. Like when we watched it for 2002, I couldn't figure out what was going on, dude. I need to give that one a rewatch because I know how high you are on it, and I just thought it was all right.
It's weird. The first time I watched it, I was so confused. I thought I just
That's how I was. I was like, what the hell?
I thought it was like Audition, where I'm like, okay, this is like a dream sequence, I guess, and this doesn't make sense. But honestly, watch Ju-on the Curse 1 and 2 first, and that completely sets you up for this film. It definitely helps. If you can find them. They're very hard to find. You can only get them on, like, YouTube in a backdoor method. You know what I mean? Like when you got to go to a playlist on somebody.
You know about those backdoor methods.
You know, I could
Yes.
probably find you bootleg DVDs. There's some really good sites you can go to get a lot of these harder to find movies on bootleg DVDs for cheap.
Try it, because I had them. I had 1, 2, 3, and 4. I had the whole set. I ordered them on eBay, like right after The Grudge came out. So it was like 2003 or 4, and I had them all. And then when I moved, after I divorced my wife, somehow they were not returned to me with all the rest of my DVDs. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying
You're
they
talking about
disappeared.
Ju-on, right?
Yeah, Ju-on 1 and
Wait.
Curse 1 and 2. and
There's a
Grudge 1 and
Ju-on. I thought we left Jeremy and Brandon out of this.
2.
I've got the first one on DVD.
What, the Curse? Ju-on Curse 1?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
says
there's
Curse?
Ju-on, like, because I have Ju-on.
Yeah, dude. Everyone considers this movie here Ju-on, but this is Ju-on the Grudge. Ju-on the Curse 1 and the Curse 2 came before this. They were made for TV Japanese films. But for some reason in the States, everyone considers the movie just called Ju-on as this movie, Ju-on the Grudge, and it's not true. So it's just one of those weird things. And I've been looking high and low for those DVDs ever since, and I cannot find them anywhere. I've been on like all kinds of sites. So maybe you'll be my savior here, Jerry. I don't know.
I might. I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. So with me, this will be the first year that one of my answers has already been said. My runner-up is Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers is like the movie version of cocaine. That is the way to explain that movie. It is.
Yeah.
It is great.
That movie's so
makes you
awesome.
take a
I always
shit.
forget how awesome it is. It's so fun.
Yeah, the drainage is kind of terrible, but as soon as they say werewolves ate my platoon, you're like, yep, it kicks in and you're fucking there. And the two reveals in the movie are both pretty good. Really solid movie. Now
It also has my favorite werewolves ever. Like, that's the kind of werewolf that I like the best.
yeah.
The design. Yeah, that's my favorite
Okay,
kind of werewolf.
I can see that. I thought they were they actually reminded me of the original, like the Howling Werewolves, but more fucking cocained up.
Yeah.
And much like Dave, I'm going to the land of Japan for my number one. And it is a movie that, even though I've seen it 20 times, I still have no clue what the fuck is going on. And that is Suicide Club. It is a strange tale.
I've never even heard of that.
A
I've heard
wave.
of it. I've never watched it.
It's cool.
Oh, dude, it's fucking great. A wave of suicides are sweeping Japan, and the police are trying to find a link to find it, and this movie leaves so much shit unanswered. It does have a sequel/prequel called Noriko's Dinner Table that kind of fills in some stuff, but it's very boring, and after watching I was like, I'll just go back to just not knowing, because none of this still makes any sense. I mean, the movie starts off with 54 Japanese schoolgirls jumping in front of a train.
Yes.
That is how this movie fucking starts. It is.
I might have to see this.
It is fucking great. And while this movie does have plot holes because it just does not answer shit, you're going to be sitting there like JP, when you watch it, don't expect to know everything after you've watched it 20 times, because you probably won't. I still don't fucking know, and I love the movie. I'm pretty sure it's out of print now, but there was a DVD that was put out by Tokyo Shock years and fucking years ago. So we go to the world of 2003 with Kenneth.
All right, my runner-up was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I thought it was awesome. Jessica Biel, fucking hot. Yeah, and I actually really enjoyed it. Saw it in the theater. And then my number one was High Tension. Even though there are holes in the plot, if you really think about it, and everything that was going on, it was still really, really good. I enjoyed it.
JP, you swung me around. I admit it. JP fucking... See? This is the difference. I'm not going to get into it. A lot of people have an opinion, and no matter what anybody says, they can't be changed. My opinion was the same that a lot of people had, that the end fucked it up. And JP put the idea in my head that it's not because of something that was said in the first minute. And that is true, but there's so much more than that. Like, if you get a chance, listen to our episode 20 on Exploding Heads, and just go to, if you don't want to listen to the whole show, it's long, just go to the High Tension thing. And I've had people get back to me and say, because I listened to that review, freaking, I understand the movie now. Thank you. So.
Yep. And I'm the same way, man. If somebody points out something to me that I miss and it makes sense, like, I'll change my opinion right away. I'm the same way. I guess it's my turn, correct?
Yeah, if he's got nothing else to say about Germany, France, and other countries, then yes.
I'll say one thing, and then you can't go wrong when you see a dude sitting in a truck and he's fucking looks like he's getting head, and he literally was getting head.
That's the best.
Yeah, I mean, that just made that movie that much more awesome.
Yeah, it's always fun.
All right, so this is funny. My runner-up is Switchblade Romance, aka High Tension.
Nice.
I love this movie, man. I've always been a naysayer to the ending is bad. It is not to me. It makes sense if you think about it the right way. Like Dave just mentioned, there's a line at the very beginning, the first minute of the movie, that explains how that ending makes sense. And Dave is right. There is more. Listen to that podcast.
I want to hear it.
Do you guys spoil it on here?
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Spoil it.
The movie's old. Yes, go.
Guys, if you have not seen High Tension, you're fucked. Go ahead, JP.
Go ahead, Dave. You've seen it more recently.
Yeah, but my mind is shit. All I remember is the line you said about the dream about chasing herself, correct? That's the start of it. But not just that. In the beginning, she's being interviewed on the tape, so this entire movie is through her eyes. So, of course, if she's fucked up, she is seeing somebody chasing her that really isn't.
Have you ever heard somebody tell you a dream or tell you a story, and then they're like, oh, and then this happened. Oh, wait, no, actually, this happened before that. And that is what this movie is. It's a crazy person explaining what happened. Of course, things don't match up, and two people are in the same place and couldn't match up because it's a crazy person telling the story. It's a visualization and illustration of that story. And that's why things don't make sense.
Now, I've always liked the movie. And I always just assumed that the way it was shot was the way that she was imagining it happening. So that would explain the two people in the same area and the different, them being in different places and stuff. I just assumed because it was showing how crazy the person actually was. So that's what I chalked all the plot holes up to. But that's great. That's a great.
And the beginning of the movie, they're literally interviewing her, and it's like, this is what happened. So it's like, you can't take it at face value, like, oh, this couldn't have happened, because it's from her crazy mind. So that is my runner-up. Love High Tension. And actually my number one is probably a little controversial to a lot of people, but I love this movie. It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Chainsaw Massacre 3, that didn't come out this year.
3?
So it's basically just mine backwards.
Yeah. So, or yours is mine backwards.
Oh man, I'm gonna piss a lot.
Here we go. A paradox.
So, my favorite horror film of all time for the listeners of Kill the Cast is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's been my favorite horror movie for as long as I can remember, and I love the remake. I think that it does just enough different. It does not capture that feel of the original, but it gives us something different. However, it gives us a lot of the same. If you look at Lee Ermey's character of Sheriff Hoyt, and you look at the family, they would fit right in with the cook and Chop Top and the families of old chainsaws. They are crazy. I love that about this movie. It has like such a good feel to it, and I like it more and more every time I watch it. It's truly becoming one of my favorite horror films, which is insane. I never thought that would happen, but yeah, I love this remake. It's near perfect for me.
Now,
for a remake.
Jay, why did you say you're going to piss a bunch of people off?
Because of my runner-up, and nobody's going to agree with me.
Oh, okay.
Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure.
We'll see.
Well, all right. So,
Jay, what do you got?
Feeling.
I'll start with my number one. It's just clearly House of the Dead. It's the greatest zombie movie ever made. I'm
Get
joking.
the fuck off this show, you ooey ball loving motherfucker! If you ever step to this goddamn show again with that ooey ball shit, not only will we send you to Germany, you will make your living under a glass fucking plane that people will shit on. You will watch people shit all day, and that's how you will make your goddamn living, Jay. So what are your movies?
I've actually got some opinions on Uwe Boll that I'll go against the grain, but we'll leave that for another time. My runner-up is Freddy vs. Jason.
Love it.
And now, well, a lot of people do. They think it's stupid.
I love it.
For me,
hold up, JP. You also love
as a fan of both of these people, I pretty much lost my shit when I found out they were going to be in a movie together. It had been a rumor, and this is before, internet was super big, so it had been a rumor amongst horror fans forever that these two people were going to be in a movie together, and it finally fucking happened, and I just lost my shit, so I love the movie.
That is true. I remember being on the playground, and it was like, here's the code to see Lara Croft naked, and did you know Jason and Freddy are going to be fighting?
Well, it started in the early 90s.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
They literally had
in the
scripts
80s,
from the
dude.
early... Yeah.
It did, because when they came out with New Blood...
It was supposed to be part 7, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite Jason movie, by the way.
Haha, New Blood, another one. Nice.
All right, well, my number one is High Tension, so I fit in the mold with everybody there.
Sweet.
All right, well, much like last year, my runner-up has been said. It is not my turn. Dave, go ahead.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was just going to let you go. Okay,
That was
high
smooth,
tension.
Jerry.
It was smooth. Yeah, good recovery. I did not pick High Tension, although I am very high on that film. Absolutely.
Ha. Dun-dun-dun.
Ha! No pun intended. Let's see. But my runner-up, and I don't know, you may not want to count this as horror. I'm not sure, but I think it is. A Tale of Two Sisters.
I count that as horror.
Awesome fucking movie.
Is that an Asian flick?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Dude, it's awesome.
I haven't seen it then.
You really must see it. It's excellent filmmaking. It's
You
just,
seem to me like you're lacking on your Asian.
Yeah, I don't really like a lot of
into
them.
it.
Well, not Asian, Japanese. I love South Korean films. Most of them I've ever seen, I've loved. But a lot of the Japanese ones, I see them and I just, like you guys were talking about Battle Royale earlier, I don't really like those two movies.
You don't like Battle Royale?
It's a
Royale?
decent movie, but I don't really care for it that much. It just feels fake. Like it wouldn't play out that way and stuff. It's over the top.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
Japan
This is
in
Korean.
general.
Okay,
does
well
things
that's
over the
I'd
top.
probably love it then.
Yeah, Tale of Two Sisters is Korean, so South Korea, I believe. Yeah, it's got to be South. But
Yeah,
yeah,
North
check it
Korea's not
out.
allowed to make movies.
right.
That is
and-
not true.
and bombs.
North Korea can make movies. In fact, they one time they kidnapped a Japanese man who used to work on Toho movies.
Did he do Godzilla stuff?
He
Yeah,
worked
I've
on
heard
some of the Godzilla movies, and they kidnapped him and forced him to make a kaiju movie in North Korea. True story.
Yeah, I've
Wow.
heard of that.
Wow, that's crazy. Shit.
Tale of
Okay,
Two
well-
Sisters. That's a good one.
Oh, you've seen it then? Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I love it. Cool. I'm glad you guys dig it. And my number one. Now, remember how you were saying something earlier, JP, about it not being in horror at this time, and you kind of fell out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the same thing happened to me. It actually happened prior. Like, I fell out after. I came back in '96, and then a couple years later, I was done again.
Yeah.
And then I stayed gone for a little bit. But then I remember, because I really thought horror went to shit. But then I
think
remember
know what it is.
these three movies brought me back. The first one was Jeepers Creepers in 2001. The second was The Ring in 2002. And when I saw this one, I rented it because it was kind of hard to find for a little bit. I rented it, and when this came, everything changed for me. I said, you know what? Horror is back, and it's been back since. But this is my favorite movie by this director. I love this movie. A little bit obsessed with it. I think it's fucking fantastic. And that is House of a Thousand Corpses.
I knew it. I knew that because I've
Yeah.
heard you tell that story before.
Really?
This was one that I seen that got me back into horror as well. I'm not as high on it as you and a lot of other people. I don't even think it's Rob Zombie's best movie or even second best, but I do like the movie a lot. I can't call it a masterpiece like some people because of the ending.
It's the style, and I can explain the ending. I've told you that. There's a precursor to it, JP. I'll make it quick. Earlier in the film, the girl has a dream, and she's at Dr. Satan's lair, and it's the same girl that ends there at the end, and it's the same look of Dr. Satan that you see in the end. So she's dreaming earlier in the film before she wakes up in its fish boy scene, and she's dreaming what Dr. Satan looks like, and it ends up being the
A
same
dream?
shit she
So-
sees later. So
So
the
it's
end
a
is
dream.
the end is a dream sequence as well. Correct.
That sucks. That's worse.
You don't like that? Well, whatever.
No, that's a cop out. Come on.
I think it's cool.
I always
whatever.
thought it was a premonition, and the ending wasn't a dream.
Interesting.
Huh.
Hey, I got a funny story about that movie. Me and my dad, when we went and saw it in the theater, when we were coming out, there was a cop standing right next to the escalator in the mall, bitching about how that cop got killed point blank in the middle of the movie.
What?
Oh, really?
I mean, literally, like this cop was standing out next to the escalator, raising hell about, oh my God, I can't believe that he shot that cop right in the face point blank. I can't believe this bullshit.
It doesn't matter that they killed all these other people, but because like they killed that
Right.
cop.
Yeah, you know that
Blue Lives
long,
Matter.
drawn-out scene where Otis shoots that cop in the face, and that was it. That's what she was bitching about.
Man,
It
there
was
is.
hilarious. Me and my
Oh.
dad were cracking up laughing as we were walking by her.
I want to make like the most inappropriate joke ever right now, but
Do
hey guys, this is an example of Blue Lives Matter.
Oh,
That's what I said. You didn't hear me say it?
No, I didn't. Did you say it?
You just Brandon Dave.
I just
It always
branded the shit
happens
out
to
of
me.
Jave.
It
Jave.
always happens.
Apparently your name's Jave now also because I like everyone to have J names. That was a good story, Jenneth.
Caitlyn Jenner?
Yes.
Caitlyn Jenner. Oh my god.
Wait a minute. No, I'm good.
Oh, did you have to
Well,
talk?
Huh?
Did you have to
No, I had to
talk?
pull it back out.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess that leaves me, and my runner-up is Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
I'm awesome, dude. I'm
I-
glad to see some.
well, here's the
I
thing.
feel like I'm the only one all the time.
If you're gonna
Oh,
do
everyone loves it.
if you're gonna do a remake, I want you to do something different.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're gonna do the exact same fucking thing, I've already seen that. Do something
Oh,
different.
Psycho remake. Oh,
Yeah, you'll either do something fantastic or you'll be a complete failure, but at least I can say you tried. And with this one, I think it's a very stylized version of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It uses an updated style, because if you go back and watch the original Texas
But it
Chainsaw
still has
Massacre...
that sticky hotness
Well,
too.
I was going to say, if you go back and watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is very stylized for that era. And this did the same thing. It is very stylized for that era. It changed just enough things to be new while still playing it a little safe. And so I think it's one of the better remakes out there.
Yeah, I think the only one, in my opinion, I think the only one that tops it is probably be Evil Dead. I think the Evil Dead remake is probably the best remake.
I agree.
But Texas Chainsaw Massacre is right behind it. It was really good.
So my number one pick from 2003 has not been listed. We are going back to the world of Japanese crime horror, and we are also going back to the world of Takashi Miike, and what happens when Takashi Miike decides he wants to make a David Lynch type movie. This has been dubbed the Japanese Eraserhead, and it is called Gozu. And it
I've never
is...
seen
Is there
Eraserhead.
incest in this movie?
I love incest. Wait, what?
Calm down, Lannister. There's a... no, I don't remember incest in this movie, but there...
Okay,
I'm
I'm thinking of something else.
I'm thinking of the milk scene, and I don't think they were related. Anyway, this movie is very, very fucking crazy, and it's even hard to talk about the plot. But it's basically Minami has to take his brother to a disposal factory because the head of the Yakuza was like, get rid of him, because he flipped out because he thought a Chihuahua was a secret agent guard dog, and so he like picked up the Chihuahua and flung it into a fucking window in front of a bunch of people. And he's like, yeah, he's acting crazy. You gotta kill him. I don't give a fuck if he's your older brother. So he goes to do that. But then his brother kind of disappears, and trying to find him is filled with strangeness and violence. There is literally a scene where he's talking to this American girl who is speaking very broken English. And so he steps closer to her, looks behind the counter, and everything she is reading off to him is written up on cards up there. It is just a fucking shot out there movie. I will say the movie has kind of bad pacing and is a little too long, but
Kinda should love it then.
if you want
Fuck you.
yeah, if you want a crazy shot out there movie, Gozu is the way to go, because the fucking cowhead scene is fantastic. So now we go back to 2004. Kenneth, you're a whore. Open the door. What you got?
2004. So my runner-up is going to be Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead was just fucking hilarious, man. And the great thing about Shaun of the Dead was the fact that it knew exactly what it was, but it still paid great respect to its predecessors. For it to be a dark comedy to the extremity that it was, and to still pay great respect to the ones before, I thought it was amazing. It was a very well done film. And then my number one would be Three Extremes.
Wow.
I'd probably have to, yeah, Three Extremes was fucking amazing.
It's good. Yeah. Wow. You surprised me there. Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing, especially the first one, the Dumplings one.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
Kenneth, have you seen the full length version of Dumplings?
I own the full length version of
Okay,
Dumplings.
I
Is
just
it any good?
Huh?
Is it any good, the full length? Because I didn't bother, because I felt the story was more than well told in the short. I'm like, why do I want to see a full length? So I never bothered with it, you know. But you liked it?
It gets you a lot deeper in the mind of this woman and what she's going through and all that. It was really good.
Cool.
Fair
Now,
enough.
is it the same exact thing, same director, same film, but with extra scenes, or is it a completely different take and different people in it?
It's a full length movie, but it's the same director and whatnot. But it's a completely full length. It's like an hour. How long is it, Jerry?
Hour 20 something.
But like,
Yeah,
are the
something
same
like that.
people in it? Is it the same
Yeah.
one that you get
Yeah.
on the short,
Yeah.
but extended? Oh, okay. You know what it is? It's like Dream Cruise for Masters of the Horror season 2, because I only saw the regular, and I wasn't even aware that there was a movie of it, like a full length. But they did it on 22 shots, and that was the only one they had their hands on. So isn't that weird? They're both Japanese too.
Alrighty then, JP.
Question. I'm
Answer.
almost certain that I watched 3 Extremes 2 for the 2002 show that we
Yeah,
did.
it's backwards. It's a fucked up thing.
That's
right.
weird. So 3 Extremes 1 came out 2 years after 3 Extremes 2.
Yeah, the
Well-
releases. Plus, it's the States release and other
It's
things.
that's based off the United States release. Because even if you look at the DVDs, Extreme will say 2004, but Extreme 2 will say 2002.
Okay.
That's weird.
All right. So, okay, I want to say this, guys. To me, when making this list, this was the hardest year for me in terms of badness. Couldn't find a runner-up that I was happy with that I could say, this is my second favorite movie of 2004.
Oh, I know one reason why. One big reason why.
the one big reason why is I can't stand Shaun of the Dead, and I really don't like Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
JP,
And those are the two big ones.
with
What's up?
Shaun of the Dead, have you always been that wrong about a movie, or was this just a new thing for you?
It's just okay. It's like such a comedy movie, and it's not funny to me. I don't find that humor funny. It's just
Okay.
it's eye rolling. It's like cringy.
I get it. You
I
don't
just
like
never
enough.
liked that
you
movie.
don't
Is
like
it
dry humor.
British?
You need more lube with your humor. I get it.
That's what I was just fixing to say. Is it dry British humor that you don't
I
like,
guess.
or just that movie?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've seen enough British humor to really know what it is.
Have you
I'm
never
gonna
watched
remedy that, sir.
a Monty Python movie?
I don't.
I
you
don't
said
like
that
British
it- you
humor,
said
but I
that
like
it-
this. So
You said that it respected the things that came before it, and I was curious, in what way do you mean? Because I didn't see that.
Oh,
The-
I-
all right.
hold
The
on, hold on.
look of the
Kenneth-
the
zombie.
nods, all the nods.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the nods that were there. The look of the zombies were great. The shooting in the head, which was one of those that it kept clear. It kept really good with. Just all the Romero references in general. As a matter of fact, George Romero loved that movie so much that he put the two creators, the guy that played Sean and the guy that wrote it, in Land of the Dead when he made it because he was so happy with it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Huh. Okay, I mean,
Has zombies
it's
in it.
been a long time. I don't remember the Romero references and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
you
if
guys
you
said
get
there,
Watch it
if I
again,
sat down
dude.
and watched it, if we were to Skype and watch it together, I could tell you, I could be like, hey, that's a nod to it. That's a nod
Yeah.
to it. That's a nod to it.
yeah, it's just I've never found that movie funny. I've just never got into it. I own it like in a steel book though for some reason.
If you don't want it, I'll take it.
I mean, it's like I like a lot of those guys' other movies too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the most recent? One of the most recent ones they did.
or something.
Yeah, that one was fucking hilarious too.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like those. I don't like Simon Pegg and that dude. Like I don't find him funny. I don't know. So getting in. So this was a hard decision for me. I'd actually think outside the box for this one because I was not confident in any movie for my runner up. So
Yeah, it's all
I went.
Asian shit. It's all Asian shit. You don't like it. It's Asian remakes. It's Asian movies. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like
Yep,
the
and you
Grudge
don't
and
like 'em.
stuff, and I don't
Right.
like Dawn of the Dead really that much. I used to love it, but it's every time I watch it, it's gotten worse and worse.
Oh, me too. Wow.
Yeah, it's like there's so many plot holes in that movie. It's ridiculous.
I still enjoy it though. I would take it as my.
I
runner.
can enjoy it. I just don't feel
Yeah.
confident saying it's my second favorite movie from that year. So what I decided to do was think outside the box, go a little more thriller route, and I went with the Butterfly Effect for my runner up. I love this movie.
Nice, nice.
It
I like
is
the movie.
very thriller, but I think the original ending is so dark that I think it kind of teeters over on the edge of horror a little bit because there's like 3 different endings to this movie, but the original ending is the best ending. I think the theatrical ending is not the original ending, but one that's on the bonus features is the good one. I think Ashton.
You're talking about the ending where he basically hangs himself in the womb, right?
Yep. And there was a prelude to that early in the film that foreshadows when she mentions that she's had so many, what is that called when you lose your baby? Miscarriages? Yeah. So that's why, because the same thing was happening. She wasn't. And I just love how this dude just wants to make everybody happy, but he keeps fucking up either his life or somebody else's. And he just can't, like, it's just an amazing movie to me. I think it's brilliantly told. And then my number 1 is a true 10 out of 10 to me, and that is Saw. I absolutely love the original Saw. That twist is amongst the greatest of all time. Nobody saw that shit coming.
That was the only movie in the series that I really, really liked.
It's the best.
Like all of them.
I thought the second one was pretty decent. The first one was great, and then the rest of them were fucking just terrible.
I like them. I like them all.
I had sex with one, and it was disappointing, so I don't know. All right, well, then we move on to Jay. What do you got?
Me, yay! I'm the best. Saw's my runner-up. I loved it. Like he said, I didn't see the twist coming. I actually rented it on a Blockbuster Associates recommendation. I was in Blockbuster. I was like looking for a new movie. He's like, "Have you heard of Saw?" I'm like, "No, what the fuck is Saw? It's stupid." I didn't say what the fuck. I wasn't a badass kid like that. But he's like, "You got to watch this movie. It's really cool." So I took it home and I was just blown the fuck away. I loved it. Like you said, the twist. It was like one of the first torture porn movies. It was fantastic. Dawn of the Dead remake is my first movie though. My top.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I still think it's great to this day. And it's another one of those I saw in the theater. I saw it in the theater when it came out. I saw
it in the theater. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I saw it on.
I thought they did a great job of taking the story from the original and compacting it so it didn't have such a lull in the middle of it like the original does.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, because I don't even really like the original Dawn of the Dead overly that much. Like, it's a great movie and I do like it, but it's a lot of people's like favorite zombie movie and stuff. But it's like my 5th favorite zombie movie. But this one, I don't know, man. It's like I loved it when it came out. It was like so good to me, and it's just every time I watch it, I like it less and less. I'm done watching it now because I don't want to like it less and less.
Fair enough.
Hey JP, we're gonna do a commentary show. Do you want to come on and do the Dawn of the Dead remake with us?
I could point out all the flaws and maybe you guys won't
Look,
like it as
you
much.
don't have to point out to me that Zack Snyder's a hack. I've known he was a hack for a long time.
He's not a hack.
He is a fucking
Zack
hack.
Snyder. What has Zack Snyder
done? Fucking Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. Every fucking movie that has pacing, editing problems, stories a mess everywhere. He only knows how to make visually things look appealing, but his stories
the best scene
suck.
of the Dawn of the Dead remake is the beginning when the camera pans out over the streets and shit. That's awesome.
Great, yep, and it's got great opening credits and great ending credits.
Yeah, I agree with both of those statements.
The best part of a Zack Snyder movie is when I turn off the TV.
I thought Man of Steel was alright.
Man of Steel was fucking garbage.
It wasn't the greatest one. It was a
hard
lot
to make
better
a
than
good
Superman Returns.
Superman movie because Superman's lame. You know what
I
mean?
agree.
I agree there.
We need to get off of this subject or else I'm going to derail this whole show.
That is a good point. Dave Zee, 2004, what you got?
All right. First of all, I'm looking at these movies, and I realized that I went to the movies
a lot
9 times that year. Nice. Wow. Horror was fucking booming.
You see what I'm saying, man? I mean, it's been a lot of time in the movie theater.
Boom, it came back big. And my number 1, there's a good story about it being at the theater. But my runner-up is Shaun of the Dead. I've said it before. I think that it's as far as horror comedies go, I think it's the one that got it perfect. As far as the perfect blend of horror and comedy, where it was just enough, the perfect amount of each. I'll always stand by that statement. This is the only horror comedy I've ever said that about. But yeah, I think it's a perfect mix. And number one, this is cool because I saw this movie at a world premiere. It was in Las Vegas. I was living in Vegas at the time. It was at the Palms Casino when it was the hottest thing going, and it was the Brendan Theater, and they had signs up, and I had friends that worked there, so I was in there a lot, and it was a big deal. This movie was going to be shown for the first time. It was like a Wednesday at midnight, and it was like coming to wide release on a Friday, and that movie was Saw.
Nice. That's an awesome story, man. That sounds fun.
That's
Was
pretty
you
awesome.
blown away?
We were, I was completely blown away. It was a midnight showing, and here's the craziest part. The craziest part is it was a jaw-dropping finale. Of course, it was amazing. It blew us away. It was like, holy fuck, and game over. And the door closes, and you still hear him screaming and shit. And the credits come on.
It's just so good. I just watched it last week, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So anyway, the funny thing is, in the Saw series is my second favorite series of all time. So it's funny that I should say this, but I was so blown away by the end of that movie and that movie period. And the first thing I said to my ex-wife when we got up and we were walking out was,
I'm going to divorce you.
I should have, yes. But now the first thing I said to her was, this movie should never get a sequel.
Whoa.
I loved it.
And then
so
boom,
much.
boom, 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 boom.
I know,
Back
and
to
I end up
back to
liking
back to
most
back.
of them. And I end up liking a lot of them. But the way it affected me so strongly that I said, leave this movie as it is. It's a masterpiece. That's how I felt. It blew me away. And I said, I hope they never make a sequel and this remains a standalone because it's brilliant. Granted, it didn't, but that's just the effect that it had on me that night. So it's one of those, nights, memories that we all have about going to a theater and, having an excellent experience. So, but yeah, Saw. I love this movie.
I agree with what you said about Saw when you saw it coming out. I agree with that statement. I think I completely agree. I think they should have left it alone.
It's tough because, like I said, I love the series.
I liked that they had all those sequels, man. It got me. It was just cool to see everybody excited for a Saw. It was like me living what I wished that I was around for with the Friday the 13th films. I wasn't born yet. I wish I could have been there for every year for the new ones coming out.
Yeah.
So that was like my version of that, and that's why I like it. I don't love the Saw sequels, but I like that everybody was hype on them.
Which is why Dave Z is a bigger Friday the 13th fanboy. Bam!
Because he was alive.
Yeah, because he was alive.
He's the bigger fan 'cause he was
you
alive.
couldn't be bothered to be alive.
By default, I did it. Yeah.
So
fair enough.
My 2004 is exactly like Kenneth's. There's a reason we're best friends, and it's because Shaun of the Dead takes my runner-up spot simply for the line, Batman soundtrack, throw it. And then
great.
Three Extremes is one of my favorite anthology movies that you never hear get talked about.
Is it better than Three Extremes 2? Or wait,
I like.
Is it better than the one that I seen? Because I didn't really like that.
I
one.
like Three Extremes way more than Three Extremes 2. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Okay, where do I have it? I have it. Okay. Dumplings, the first short, is a really fucked up story with a really fucked up ending, all for the sake of youth and beauty. Cut, which I think Cut would make could be remade in America easily. Cut is the story of a director who has to do what a former extra on his movies tells him to do after he kidnaps the director's wife and says, if you don't go strangle this certain girl, I'm going to start cutting off your wife's fingers.
And his wife's a piano player.
Yes.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
And it is directed by the Korean director who did the Vengeance trilogy, including Old Boy.
Yeah.
And then,
good.
Is that Wook?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I've seen a couple of that dude's films. I've seen the first Vengeance film, and then
you will hear him again
Thirst.
twice, 2 more times in this.
I like that guy.
Thing. And then
Dude!
What?
Wow, Jerry! I had no idea that you were this big a fanboy of Wook and freaking and Miike. Holy shit!
And
you're blowing
speaking
me
of
away.
fucking Miike, the last
Dude,
one,
his new samurai movie that's coming out is gonna be fucking dope.
Have you seen Wook's Stoker. It's called Stoker.
It's
He
good
made it.
shit.
It's an American movie.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Dude, it's so good. I loved it.
It's called Stoker.
Yeah, dude.
Stoker.
All right,
It was
The
in
guy
my
from
top 10
Prison
that
Break
year.
wrote it. Wentworth
on
Miller.
my list. All right, so and then the last film is Box, which is by Takashi Miike, and it's one of those that is probably the most debated out of the three, because it has an ending that you will either love or hate.
It's fucking weird.
To
man, but
me,
it's so good.
I love it. I think the twist at the end is fantastic, but I really, unfortunately, cannot say much about this without giving the ending away. Basically, a girl and her sister grew up working at a carnival, and I really can't say much more than that. I really can't. You have to watch it and decide if you're going to love it or hate it. And it's one of those where you might have to watch it twice, but I think most people will get it on the first view.
I'm interested. This is one that I want to check out because I've heard.
You
good
should, man.
Yeah. It's really, really... I think all three are fucking just solid.
Yeah, all three of them sound appealing.
Yeah. I like all fucking three of them.
It reminds me of my dad when when we watched that. My dad was like, "I'd pay a lot of money for those dumplings." You got to realize, man, my dad was awesome, but he was also very vain.
Yeah.
And so he was always looking for anything. He was just like, I've got to find something to stop me from aging.
Pretty much.
That was cool as shit.
All right, Kenneth, take us to the year 2005, where white guys could be pretty fly.
This was the most difficult year for me to choose because a lot of good shit came out in 2005. But I narrowed it down to my runner-up, which would be Wolf Creek, because I thought Wolf Creek was amazing. I thought the character was great. I love the idea of a Crocodile Dundee serial killer.
I was so upset with Wolf Creek. I rented it specifically because it says Quentin Tarantino loved the movie, and I love Quentin Tarantino movies, and it was so fucking boring.
I loved it.
No,
thought
I
it was
know.
amazing.
I watched
I
it and was
disliked the
pissed
second one.
that it was... I thought this was a film about a wolf taking a bath in a creek, and it was going to be very majestic,
That's a
And-
Brandon joke right there.
and it wasn't.
Yeah, it is.
And then, I mean, like I said, it was just great. I thought it was awesome. The second one was too over the top, and I didn't like it. And I haven't seen any of the episodes from the TV show because it's...
That
just
kangaroo
had-
scene killed the second one.
I barely even remember a lot of it, and I own it. And then my number one top, this was very difficult, but it's The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Nice.
I couldn't. I mean, I sat and I looked at all the badass movies that came out that year. I mean, Devil's Rejects, 2001 Maniacs, and I actually went to where they filmed 2001 Maniacs, and I still could not let go of The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That movie was fucking amazing.
If you listen very closely, you can hear Watson coming somewhere right now.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, not exactly that, but I really need to re-watch that movie because I seen it when it came out. And I didn't care for it, but Watson is so high on it, and he like when he talks about a movie, it makes you want to rethink.
Yeah.
At
But
least give it another shot.
To be fair, Watson is also really high on The Witch, and he's completely wrong about that.
I don't know, man. To me,
bro.
to me, when Watson talks about a movie, it makes me want to rethink my life in the universe.
Oh yeah, of course. That's
I mean,
just saying.
there's
After
something
you do
about
that,
dude.
you want to rewatch the movie.
Right. I mean, you know, the existence of everything is fucking baffling to me after he gets done. It's fucking weird. But yeah, that Exorcism of Emily Rose is my number one, and it took me. I finally decided on both of them about 5 minutes ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a similar problem with this year as well. It's a great year.
Well,
Yeah.
with that being said, JP, did you have a hard time with this year, or are you just hard?
I did not have a hard time with this year because I loved these two movies so much more than the other movies that came out this year. But I do really, really like Wolf Creek. That shit is the scene where they're sitting there and he's talking about the knife and stuff. Like, man, that shit is great. But Yeah, so my runner-up is another film that I credit for getting me back into horror. And this filmmaker for getting me back into horror. And that is Eli Roth's Hostel. This movie knocked my motherfucking socks off when I first seen it. I was just like, I can't believe this is in like the theater and stuff. It like blew my mind. Like this was like such a hardcore movie, and everybody was talking about it. And I was like, this is insane. This is some stuff that I would be like scared to tell my friends that I like or something. Like I showed my friends Last House on the Left, and they were like pissed off that I watched it with them, you know. And I'd never. It was my first time watching it too. This was back when I was a kid and stuff. But yeah.
Wait. Why? Why were they
What?
pissed?
Oh, because it was like ultra violent and shocking and stuff. They've never seen somebody get raped on a movie before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know, we were kids and shit, but Hostel, like I don't know, man. There's something about this movie that the concept alone just like freaks me out, and I think that it's like definitely more plausible than a lot of the type of horror that we see. And that freaks me out. Like it's scary to think about that there might be some place, some like third world country where this is possible and where people are paying to kill other human beings and stuff. It's just a great concept, and gory, works really well. I like the party aspect, and the filmmaking is great in it too. Like everything's bright and like vibrant, and then the day after everything happens, you know, like one of the dudes disappears and stuff, everybody's washed out, the girls don't look as pretty anymore, that it's just like everything looks grosser. It's like a hangover almost. So that's my runner up, and my number one.
That's an awesome analogy. I'm sorry. That was an awesome analogy. I have to give you credit for that. It's like a hangover. That is the best way that I've ever heard anybody describe the change.
Thanks.
That's awesome. I'm sorry I interrupted.
I do not know if I've heard that somewhere else. I probably have, but you know, whatever.
You get credit for it.
All right, I'll take credit for it. That's what Brandon does. So
Yeah,
I'm just joking. So the number one though, this is the other filmmaker that I credit for getting me back into horror, and this is not only my favorite movie of 2005, it's my favorite movie in this decade. So this is my number one here, peeps, and that is The Devil's Rejects. I had never seen a movie like this until I seen this movie, and it blew me away, and it still does to this day. I can't believe the amount of violence that's on this movie, and the fact that it was in theaters and that it was a popular movie. One of the greatest endings of all time, and some of the best characters ever, because you have these villains who you fall in like with. You like them, and it's such a weird dynamic. It's like what Norman Bates was in the original Psycho, except for you didn't know he was, you know, spoiler alert, the killer.
Holy shit!
So
what a revelation.
you know that the Firefly clan is bad, but somehow you still kind of like them. And I think that each character is very unique. When you're talking about Otis and Captain Spaulding and Baby, like they're really, really unique, and they're just, it's a very well told story, fleshed out, completely different from House of a Thousand, and it's really just an expansion of creativity, and I love it.
Is it your favorite Rob Zombie film?
Yes, it is.
I'd probably have to say that's the pinnacle of his career too.
I like all of his
Super
films
Beasto
except
is
for
clearly the pinnacle of his career.
I mean, I like other movies. I think the biggest one that he fucking fucked up on was 31, but we won't get into that.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, we already figured out 31. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I figured it out from Kenneth telling me about it. It's someone trying to make a Rob Zombie movie, and unfortunately, it just happens to be Rob Zombie trying to make that movie.
Right.
He even said that
garbage.
he tried to make that movie for the people that wanted like him to make this kind of movie. It just, like, he did it. There was a clip that they showed of him talking about the movie when I seen it at the pre-screening, and it made so much sense why he made all the wrong choices with that movie.
Yep.
Garbage.
Speaking of garbage, Jay, what you got?
Hi.
Dude, that was great. I gotta.
That was good. My runner-up is The Descent. I fucking love that movie.
Good movie.
The gore was good. The story was good. It was super tense. You know, they were like trapped down there. The monster design was good. They didn't let you see them until, you know, it was time to see them, which I always like. And then my number one movie for 2005 was Hostel. Pretty much for the same reasons everybody said. I actually saw Hostel before Saw, so it was the first torture porn movie I'd ever seen. And I was just, like, the same thing that you said, that was already said, it just blew me away that this was something I was watching, that there was, like, a slow burn story followed by real life-like ultra-violence. And I was just like, what the fuck? After I was done watching it. But it's always stuck with me because of that.
Well, hi, kids. Do you like violence? Dave Zee, are you ready to give us your choices?
Oh, yeah. Well, check it out. This was very tough because The Descent and Emily Rose were right. Picking my runner-up was fucking very hard. It was between three movies. I knew what my number one was, but it was very hard with those three movies. It's funny because JP, I picked the same movies as JP did, but they're reversed. My runner-up is Devil's Rejects, and my number one is Hostel. And once again, JP, you mentioned those two directors getting you back in. I got to say, these two directors, I think, did excellent jobs here, and they both suffer from the same problem in their career. I want to see them, and not just me. I've heard other people say this on podcasts, only because it makes perfect sense. I want to see these two directors not write and not have anything to do with the characters and direct stuff written by other people and ideas developed by other people, because technically they're both great. I think Rob Zombie is better as a filmmaker and
I
a
do
visionary.
too. I agree with that.
But I think that they both are weak in their characters. But everything about Hostel is pretty much perfect. The frat boy shit, it isn't as bad as it was in some of his other movies. I'm actually into the characters. I'm into the story. And the one scene that nobody ever talks about, and I remember seeing it at the theater and go, like, what? And fucking, just because he says, when he's begging for his life, the one guy, and it's the guy that he was hanging out with earlier that put his hand on, you know, he bought on the drink at the bar, that guy. And he said, he's begging for his life. He's like, please. He's like, I'll pay you anything or something. And then the guy says, pay me. And he goes, you can't pay me. He goes, as a matter of fact, I'm the one that's paying them. And then he screams and it cuts. Yeah. And I remember that moment. Nobody ever talks about it, but I was like, what the fuck? He's paying them. It didn't click as to what was going on. To me, that was a reveal. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Right? It's a reveal that no one ever talks about. But I think
that's a good scene, man. I'm glad you pointed that out, because you're right. I've never heard a single person mention that.
No, right?
But here's the thing. I've never heard anyone mention it because I didn't see it as a reveal. I knew before that obviously there was an organization doing this, and I kind of felt I kind of already knew everything that was like I was piecing together everything pretty easily, so it really wasn't much of a reveal. Once that I was like, oh, it's the guy from earlier. Obviously, he paid the drug people and the whores to get the guy, so I kind of already knew like. That, I mean, I think the only emphasis on that is at that point maybe I was like, okay, maybe this is bigger than him just paying some local drug dealer pimp and hose to do this. There's a big organization behind it, but I kind of had already figured out. So that I've never thought about that scene as a reveal.
Wow. Wait, now did you see it right when it came out, or did you have any knowledge of this plot whatsoever?
No, I saw that when it came out. I didn't know about the plot.
Interesting. Well,
I can't remember if I saw it as a reveal or not, but I do love that scene. That's what I remember. Oh, and by the way, Dave, Eli Roth, his next film, actually, he did not write.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. But I have no interest. It's not really horror, so whatever.
Yeah.
But still, I feel you. And now let me just say something about Devil's Reject. It's House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite Rob Zombie movie. I like the way it was made. I like the way he used the colors of it, the trippiness of it. It was just different. It was kind of like combining Natural Born Killers with like the Texas Chainsaw series. That's what I thought right off the bat. And Natural Born Killers is my favorite movie. So just the style of it, plus what Rob Zombie's flair and everything about it. But here's the deal. I loved the characters in that movie. Like, I fucking fell in love with the Otis character the very first time I saw this film. Like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Very charismatic.
Not Rejects. Rejects is when everyone else fell in love with them. I was down with them right in Corpses. And I was like, he's fucking great. That scene when they're walking and he has the white paint on and the cross and the red thing. And the white the blonde wig. I wore that as a costume in a casino. I was working at the Flamingo and I dressed that way and fucking dealt cards. And it was amazing I got away with it because you're supposed to be revealed because you're in a casino. You know what I mean? It's important for them to know who you are. I was so covered with the white paint and everything. They were talking about sending me home, but they didn't. But I looked fucking just like their character. So anyway, I was very much into the Firefly clan, you know, including Spaulding. Then the way they were in this one, Rejects, is much different, but it makes perfect sense. In the first movie, they're having fun, they're killing, they're joking. Now, part 2, this is when shit gets real. This is shit getting real. All right, guys, we're on the fucking run. This is our lives at stake. We're not playing this game anymore. And it makes total sense where they went. My only beefs with the film is some of the CGI fucking really bothers me. There's one scene in particular in the hotel involving a knife being in the one girl's chest, and I don't
even remember it.
Oh, it sticks out like a sore thumb. And since the first time I saw it, it's so bad. It's just like Land of the Dead, same thing. They came out the same year, I think, too. There's a CG scene in that with a guy's head getting knocked back, a zombie, and then he puts it back up, and that turned me off extensively. It was very bad. But anyway, I still enjoy Devil's Reject. It's my runner-up. It's an excellent film. But that's what it is. And Hostel, wow, that fucking shit blew me away.
Nice.
All right, well, my runner-up is Devil's Rejects. It's one of the best character-driven movies I've ever seen. Otis is one of the most quotable dudes in history. In fact, I remember when I was living with Kenneth, his ringtone at the time was Otis saying, the next shit that comes out of your mouth better be some brilliant Mark Twain shit, because it's definitely getting chiseled on your tombstone. That was Kenneth's ringtone. I remember hearing that like every day for like 3 fucking months. It's my favorite movie by Zombie. It's the strongest in my opinion. A point I want to bring up, and I think I've told Kenneth about this, but I want to bring up, in the 2000s, Rob Zombie put out 4 distinct movies: House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Halloween, and Halloween 2. Now, I don't know if y'all ever paid attention to this, but to me, House of a Thousand Corpses and Halloween 2 are the same style movie, while Devil's Rejects and Halloween are the same style movie. One movie, House of a Thousand Corpses and Halloween 2, is very visually driven, while Devil's Rejects and Halloween are very character driven.
That's a good point.
And I think it's very, very interesting because I'll ask people, which do you prefer out of House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects? Depending on what they pick, I know which Halloween they like more. Look at Dave Zee. He likes House of a Thousand Corpses more, and he likes Halloween 2 more.
You're correct. Yeah, absolutely.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a wrench in that theory. I like Thousand Corpses better, and I like the first Halloween better.
Fuck you, Jay. You don't count.
I do count. I'm a real boy, damn it.
Count to 5. Do it.
3.
You jabroni, shut the fuck up.
You just
X.
And my number 1 movie is one that has not been mentioned, and we're going back to the world of Japan. The Neighbor number 13. Being a bully in middle school, it might come back to bite you in the ass. This is a psychological revenge flick that took me 2 watches to understand what was going on.
I see a theme here.
Yeah. I really like shot-out Japanese flicks, in case you didn't know. Basically, there's a guy named Juzo who starts working at a construction job where he finds out the boss, who's named Akai, used to bully him in middle school. And to make matters worse, the apartment that he just moved in, well, Akai and his family, a wife and a toddler, live in the apartment above him. And then a mysterious hooded figure appears and death starts to happen. And JP, they do that one thing that you really, really like in horror movies.
Kill kids?
Yep.
Nice.
This actually sounds pretty good, honestly, from the premise.
It is really, really good, and the ending is really, really strong. I've heard people hate the ending, but I feel they just don't understand it. So if you watch it and you don't like the ending, either watch it again or come and talk to me. And
Dave, have you seen this?
Settle it.
What?
Yeah,
Dave,
Dave,
have you seen
it?
No, I have not seen this. And did you say that character's name was Juzo?
Yeah, Juzo.
Juzo. It must be Brandon's Japanese cousin. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Actually, I heard Brandon took his porn star name from this also, except it's Jizon.
That's great.
Fucking dude.
Well, now that I've lowered the standard for this show, Kenneth, bring us back for 2006.
All right, so my runner-up for 2006, and may or may not have heard of this movie. It's called Cannibal.
Fuck you.
Is this the one that Jerry
Go
wants me
fuck
to
yourself.
watch that he hates?
Shut the...
Yes.
I don't know. No, I love the
Oh.
movie. I just do not ever want to watch this fucking movie ever again in my life.
Oh, gotcha.
Until in a few
This
episodes.
is the one that's out of print and hard to find, right?
Yes,
Right.
and soon we are going to cover it for Kill the Cast. I just keep putting it off because I really don't want to watch it again.
It's one of those movies, man, that is so psychological, and it really hits home. And knowing that it actually happened. When you watch this, I mean, it is one of those movies that is the closest to reality out of any movie that's been made, because it was completely based on a true story, to the point of where it's not loosely where it just says it at the beginning. The guy that made this movie watched videos that were done by the killer and based scenes off of those videos.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. And then, so if anybody ever get a chance, me and Jerry will try to make it happen to where people can see it after we do our episode. And, we're actually going to try to work that out to where other people can see it, because it's so difficult to come by.
Nice.
And then my number one for 2006.
Oh, thank God we're over that.
Yeah, my number one for 2006 is Silent Hill.
Really?
Oh, the Silent Hill
Yeah.
biker, of course.
Can
Yeah.
we talk
Yeah,
about
dude.
how Kenneth made... I was living with Kenneth when he got this on DVD, and he made me watch it, like, over and fucking over. He had a DVD player that wouldn't... When the movie ended, it would just restart the movie. And I swear to you, there's 2 movies that we went on, like, binges where, like, a month long, we only watched this one movie. I don't know why, we just did. And one of them was Silent Hill.
Are you a fan of the games?
Yes, I am a huge fan. That's where Silent Hill Biker comes from, dude. There's only one out of the entire series that I don't have, and that's Shattered Memories for the PS3.
Oh,
PS2.
I
That
don't
is
really
the only-
like those games.
That's
Oh,
the
you
only
mean
one that
the-
I don't own.
The game that's sitting over in the other room right now, Kenneth? That game?
Yes. That's the only one that, other than it's this giant arcade game that looks like one of the beds from the hospital. It's all burnt and fucked up, and it's a shooter game. And I can only get it from overseas in Asia. I think South Korea for fucking $4,000.
and the pachinko game, okay?
Yeah, but I ain't studying that. But yeah, so Silent Hill, and to me, it was one of the I think it was one of the best video game to movie adaptations.
Yeah,
I
right.
liked the movie when it came out too. But I don't have a history with the games either. But I always hear people like talk shit on it. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's one of the best ones. I mean, they did change the story around a little bit, so I think that a lot of the people that have such an issue with it are people that are, hardcore anal retentive about changing characters around. Because in the original, in the game, it's a dude searching for his daughter.
Yeah.
When in the movie, it changed it up to the mom searching for the daughter.
I'm going to tell you what, though. I'm going to give the director tons of props for Silent Hill, because he actually brought a PS1, a copy of the game, onto set to show them scenes that they were going to recreate, like the angles and stuff. Like when the baby's attacker. That's straight out of... That's the angle they use, and everything else is right out of the game in one of those shots. And he made the actors and everyone watch the gameplay so that they could understand what he was trying to do.
Even for the movement, a lot of that shit, the movements on the different monsters, how Pyramid Head walks, the whole nine, everything he was extremely attentive.
See,
to
I both love and hate that Pyramid Head was in it. I love the character, but he's only in 2. And he's only there as a manifestation of that character's guilt. So,
I got you.
But that's
I mean,
But again, I loved seeing
Yeah,
it.
but you
especially
gotta
when he
have
rips the
that thing
fucking
in there,
skin off
man.
of
He's
that.
the most iconic thing about
That's
that
true.
series.
He's great. Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna get him tattooed on me. Actually,
Oh, are you
Nice.
gonna put him? Hey, can you put him writing on top of the Black Phillip you have on your chest?
I was gonna put him on my rib cage.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I
Kenneth
mean-
had Black Phillip before Black Phillip was Black Phillip.
Yep, tattooed on my chest.
Cool.
All
But
right.
yeah, so those are mine. JP.
Cool.
J motherfucking P. 2006.
My favorite video game adaptation is House of the Dead. No, I'm kidding.
Jay already made this joke, and I threatened to kick him off the show.
It was a
I will
callback.
I
It
will
was a
kick you off
callback.
this show. I will figure out a way to kick you off Married with Children. Somehow I'll kick you off 22 Shots, Netflix and Chill, and we'll get Dave to start doing the Vestron podcast.
You can't kick him off Married with Children. Damn, I mean, if it wasn't for him and Alex, I wouldn't even listen to the damn show.
Oh, burn!
Yeah.
And I think
So-
JP was just trying to
You-
get kicked off when he
you-
made that joke.
You fucking say this to me on the day of my cat's quinceañera? You say this to me? Let me tell you something, okay? It's okay. Silent Hill Revelations was amazing.
Oh, you're a fucking whore.
Oh, see, I like that one too.
I
Some of
did
your
too.
Shit.
Okay, JP, let's be real this time. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest. And let's actually stay on topic for this. Why are you such a bitch?
Ha 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 ha.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so my runner-up is another one of those kind of like, is it horror type movies? But this one I believe is actually listed as horror on IMDb, which is shocking to me when something like Battle Royale is not. And this movie is William Friedkin's Bug. Has anybody seen this, first of all?
No.
Yeah.
Who's in it? Who's in it?
Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Yeah. Okay. So this movie, to me, I ordered a movie called Bugs from. It was a Sci-Fi Channel like bug movie, and I ordered that, and this came, and I was like, "What the hell? This doesn't look like that sci-fi movie." And I decided to watch it anyway, because it was, they sent me the actual one I wanted, but now I had this one, so I was like, all right, whatever. And I watched it, and it's like a regular movie, like nothing dark or scary about it. It's just like two like druggies like living in a hotel, like hanging out. And then all of a sudden it takes this I knew nothing about this movie. It takes this goddamn left turn into Insanityville. And it's the most perfect creation of insanity on screen that I've ever seen. Like, I'm convinced these people are insane. Like, it is absolutely terrifying to me. And I love this movie. It blew me away. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's what doing meth is like.
Yeah, right?
That sounds.
I'm not joking.
That sounds just like Jay's homemade porn tapes.
Those are fucking lit, yo.
Yeah, but the title Bug is very interesting. It has a big part to do with the movie, But I love this movie. It's crazy, and the performances are so good, so good. So my number one though is like one of my favorite. I believe it is my favorite remake, if my memory is correct. And I remember watching this movie. I was kicking it with back when I used to like rap and stuff when I was like a kid, I was chilling with the dude that I used to rap with, and he used to like, smoke a ton of weed and invite me over his house, and we'd eat like piles of chicken nuggets and pizza rolls from the microwave while his mom was in jail. And we rented this on DirecTV, and it was The Hills Have Eyes. And it just, I was on the edge of my damn seat this entire movie. It just blew me away. Since then, I've seen it so many times that it doesn't have the same effect, but like it was another one of those films that got me back into horror completely. Like, this was the final peak of it, where I was like, I love horror again. And yeah, it is like, it's just such a good remake because it takes the concept. It's what Jerry said with Chainsaw. It takes the concept and it just runs with it, and in a kind of a same direction, but just stylized it and push that concept of the Meteor family even further. And it's a great remake. It's probably the best remake in my opinion.
Okay, well, JP's wrong. So, Jay.
I didn't watch any movies this year, so I've got... No, I'm just kidding. So my runner-up is Slither. Comedy horror. Nathan
Good
Fillion.
movie.
Fucking hilarious. Just absolutely hilarious. I love the over-the-top gore. It absolutely cracked me up.
Hey.
Actually, yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, Kenneth, do you have the same problem when anyone says Slither, you think of the Tech 9 song?
No, I don't have that problem, but now I'm probably going to.
I wanted someone else to have the same problem as me, because as soon as you said it, I was just like, I love the way you make it slither, baby. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you for that, Jay. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So I worked at Blockbuster for a very short time, and I used to watch movies on my breaks and lunches. So it would take me 2 shifts usually to watch a full movie. But I remember watching this one in the break room, or the back room, the only room we had, and then watching it all the way through at once later down the line. But yeah, I love Slither. It's fucking hilarious. And then my number 1 is Silent Hill. Like Kenneth said, it is one of the best, if not the best, video game movies, or movies based on a video game, regardless of the changes. The creature design, regardless of it being based on a video game, it has everything I want out of horror movies. The creature design was great. The story was, as original as a horror movie story can be. The gore, especially the end fucking scene. Jesus Christ, that was satisfying to watch. I just absolutely love this movie.
My favorite scene is when Pyramid Head ripped the skin off that chick.
Oh, it's great.
Yes, that's
that
awesome
was my
too.
favorite.
I've watched that scene frame by frame, where I've just skipped each frame just to watch it in all its fucking glory.
I mean the leader chick getting raped by barbed wire was awesome, but there's nothing.
I don't remember any of this in this movie.
And
dude, I mean, when Pyramid
Really?
Head,
You need to fucking rewatch it.
I have it on
dude.
Blu-ray.
when
I
Pyramid
haven't
Head
seen it in
picks that
years.
chick up and just grabs her by the chest and twists her skin like it's a shirt and rips it off of her entire body. I was in the theater and I was like, oh my God, that was fucking amazing.
Also, they did a really good job with the whole ash transition, where they would make everything just like fall away to ash.
I do remember that.
That
That's
was really
straight
good.
out of the video game.
Oh, and also, just for y'all, here is a sound clip of Jay watching his favorite scene by scene, or frame by frame. All right. So, more Silent Hill love. Dave, where are you at?
All right. This is the only time this evening that I'm going to do something that's a little cheat.
Cheater.
Get
Just
the
a little.
fuck off my show.
Well, check it out.
Okay.
The only reason I'm not making this the official pick is because, number one, I've only seen it one time. I own the Blu-ray, but I've only watched it once. But every time I think about this movie, I think about it, pretty fondly. So I wanted to have it there. But another thing is, it's also maybe not really a straight-up horror movie. So I'm going to throw it in there as an extra. But that movie is Pan's Labyrinth.
I love
Good
Pan's
flick.
Labyrinth.
Good flick.
I
never
have
seen it.
I have not.
That's another movie I watched in the Blockbuster break room.
I have not watched it, but Reese keeps telling me I need to watch it.
Dude, I honestly think you'd like it. It's really good. It's got a good story.
It's Del Toro, and I usually love everything Del Toro does.
It's
This was
very
the
well
movie
made.
this was the movie that really put him out there, man. I think Pan's Labyrinth did better.
Really?
I think Pan's Labyrinth did more for him than the Hellboy movies, than any of the other ones. I think Pan's Labyrinth did it for him.
Yep,
when it
I think
really
people
comes down to
started
it.
taking him more serious as a filmmaker after this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the extra one. Now, my runner-up, actually, there's a lot of slashers this year, in case you guys didn't know.
I
It
love
was like
slashers too.
and I love them too. And it was honestly really tough to pick which one I was going to pick, because I kind of have them all rated right about the same. And ultimately, I just settled on Hatchet. I really like
Really?
Hatchet. Yeah, I really like Hatchet. the first one. The second and third, not as much. But I really enjoy it. I remember being really excited to see it when it was advertised because there was a website, and it was actually kind of scary. And you go on this website, and they played the trailer, and with that little girl's voice talking about, yeah, Victor Crowley, a deformed boy.
That was that was the mock trailer. The movie didn't even exist at the time.
That's what's fucked up.
Created that.
They showed it, and they showed this deformed boy, and you know that shit fucks with me. And I saw that, and it looked spooky, and it was on the actual website. Then after that trailer ended, on the website, you just heard like rain coming down, just in the background, and then just this little like voice of like a missing boy or something, and he was like kind of like almost like Jason when he's lost in the woods in part one. But that being on that website already creeped me the fuck out. So I was like, this is actually going to be fucking old school American horror like they say, and it's going to be fucking scary and badass. Well,
it wasn't, but
it wasn't scary, and that was the letdown. That there was more comedy than scares, but the kills were great. And it was probably the most fun I've had watching a slasher in quite a while. So I give it to Hatchet.
And
it gave me high hopes for Adam Green, and unfortunately, I was let down.
Oh, that reminds me.
What the hell,
Kenneth? By the way, when we do the Frozen episode, JP's requested to be on.
I love
favorite
Frozen.
movies.
I love it too,
God.
JP.
That movie was fucking shit. It was
What?
horrible.
Is Frozen
it was
my
like
favorite
where they're
one?
stuck on
one
a
of the
ski
most
lift?
terrible fucking movies I've ever watched in my life.
What?
If I had a chance to be on a podcast like with the Skeleton Crew and talk to Adam Green, I would ask him straight up. I would be like, dude, what the fuck? Everything else
It's his
in
best
your fucking...
movie.
Whoa. It's not
I
his
agree.
best movie. Digging Up the
wait,
Marrow
wait.
is the best.
What
Is
is
Frozen
else.
the one where they're stuck on the ski lift?
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie is fucking garbage.
What?
Wow. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Time out.
We're gonna come
Okay,
back, both of
hold
us,
up.
and argue this.
We're going to
This
Okay.
is horror.
Iceman shouldn't have frozen.
Time out.
That doesn't even make any
Time
sense.
out.
He's not
Horror
frozen.
Everyone quiet. We will come back to this. We will have a show, and I'll moderate it, and it'll be JP and Dave versus Kenneth and Jay, unless I hate Frozen also, and then I'll try not to be biased, and we will see who wins this.
Is this for the tag team championship of the world?
Tag team championships of the world? We will see who wins on this, because wow, it just got heated, and I had to full stop on you motherfuckers.
All right, let's leave it at that.
We will leave it at Digging Up the Marrow is the best Adam Green movie. So, Dave,
Hatchet.
what is your main pick? Your number one?
Number one is one of the few movies that it's a number 3 in a series, and it's equal to me with its original. And I love this movie, and it's Saw 3.
Huh.
Crickets.
I adore
Okay.
this movie. Sorry, I think it's fucking incredible. I think it's also a 10 out of 10 if I'm rating a movie.
Really?
I think it's
Dude, I
Yes.
What
just
happened
watched
in
Saw 3.
1
What
and 3.
happened?
I haven't seen it since it came out.
Oh, dude, you don't even need to watch 2.
Dave.
2 is one of my least favorite.
Well,
1
I'm
and
watching
3.
2 this week and 3 the week after
Nah.
because 22 shots.
I don't
so.
even remember what happened.
Oh,
to the
are
third
you
one.
starting that shit? Oh,
Secret.
oh,
Well,
not
it's not
anymore.
secret anymore, and also not secret
Oh.
because Jeremy's been posting it in the group. But
Yeah.
Damn. Anyway, I love Saw 3. I love everything about it. It's a great story, great twist at the end. It's just one of those movies that I'm hook, line, and sinker, start to finish. I feel bad for the father and grieving over his lost child. I think the traps are awesome. Everything that Jigsaw's doing is great. It's just top-notch fucking enjoyment.
I
From
can't even
start to
remember,
finish.
man.
Oh, it's amazing.
Is that the one with the shotgun bullet necklace?
That's so funny you said that, Jay, because that's the only thing that I was thinking.
Which one? The shotgun? What?
The shotgun
shotgun
bullet
necklace.
necklace is what I called it. It's
Oh,
the
when he
big
has to-
metal ring, and the doctor has to wear it while she keeps Jigsaw alive, or else it explodes.
Oh, yeah, that big thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
That's it. Yeah,
Well-
Is that the one that's got the lady cop in it, and she gets like the angel wing thing, where it like
What?
rips her ribs out, and where it rips her ribs
Oh.
out?
Oh, Dina Meyer. Yeah, she does
Yes.
get it in 3. Or is it 4 she gets it? Fuck, I can't
I don't
remember.
know.
Those
I think
movies run
it's-
together so much for me, man.
well, that was the picks from 10 out of 10 Dave. So I will go into mine, and mine is we went to Japan to get the director to bring him back to America, and then we told him we're not fucking showing this on American TV. Get the fuck out. And that is Imprint by Takashi Miike from the Master of Horror movie series. How
That counts?
it's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it
I mean,
counts.
technically it's an episode.
Oh, it's a made. Oh,
Is it
okay. Look here. If you listen,
Each
to
episode is a movie, though.
yeah, and if you listen to Cinema Attack, they've already decided that movies and TV episodes are the exact same thing.
Say
Really?
what?
So yeah, listen to their newest
I've been
episode, episode 2.
Their newest episode, episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. Hey, it's been declared. So I count it because it is a movie. I have it on a standalone DVD.
I count it as a movie too. I do.
Then
I
why
was
are you
just
giving
busting
me
your
shit?
balls. Just busting your balls.
This isn't Married with Children.
Just because I didn't see it. I didn't see it pop up. You know, because I don't know. It didn't pop up
Well,
in movies, but I love Imprint. So
I'll tell you what.
Not gonna-
Open your mouth, open your eyes, and I'll show you what pops up. Anyway, so I fucking love this movie. Holy shit, do we have a fucking movie right here. Okay, so the story is a journalist goes looking for his lost girlfriend. He shows up at the brothel that she was at to find out more info, and is given the story of the lost girlfriend by another woman who also includes a lot of information about herself. And the secret that comes out at the end is fucking insane. And I feel like this film is one of the most disturbing films that is actually done very well. It's not shock for shock value. Everything there makes sense. Everything there is great. And it has some scenes that make you go, what the fuck? And it actually has scenes that made me go, I think I've just got to look away for a second. I just can't.
it was banned.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
it was.
Showtime
Never made
would
it.
not fucking show the movie. They were so worried about the controversy that would come up from a certain torture scene, and then there's a whole thing about abortion. It is one of those movies you gotta fucking check out. You can actually find the DVD for pretty cheap. It's not really hard to find. I actually have 2 copies of the DVD. And sticking with the Asian persuasion, we're leaving Japan and we're going to South Korea to go to The Host. The Host is a great kaiju film that shows what happens when a lazy dad must step up to the plate when his daughter is taken by a mysterious monster. It is filled with some actually really, really fucking good emotional acting. And it has some really fucking just like honestly hilarious moments. It has everything.
I was actually surprised how good it was the first time I watched it.
Yeah, Kenneth, can you believe Reese hates this movie? She thinks it's terrible. I almost broke up with her when I found that out. I was like, I don't know if I can be with someone.
Well, at least she's hot. You know, that kind of makes up for it a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, you're inside of her and you're about to come, and then you remember she doesn't like the fucking host. And
You weren't supposed to tell people about that.
But yeah, I love The Host. If you want a monster movie that has great acting, has funny moments, has really tense scene, has some beautiful cinematography, and has some actually pretty decent CGI, The Host is what you need to watch.
Yo, Jerry, this is crazy because that movie's been on my radar for years. It's been in my Netflix queue on the instant. It's no longer there. It's been somewhere else on a streaming site in my list or my queue or whatever. And I've been meaning to watch it. And I was actually gonna watch it last night. And then one thing led to because I was looking, trying to see and I'm like, man, people love The Host. Maybe I should watch it. Maybe it'll make my list. And I was gonna watch it last night, and it just wasn't in the cards. But I gotta watch it.
Dave, it's gonna hit a little home for you because you do have a daughter.
And
so like you're gonna connect with the dad. You're not as lazy as this dad, but you're gonna connect with like the emotional pain he goes through as his daughter was fucking taken, and having to like go through all that. Because I mean, his daughter is really, really like smart and responsible and like loves her dad. Very similar to your own daughter. So I think you will fall in love with this movie.
I'm psyched. Man, I was going to watch it. Well, if by chance I watch it and I like it better than Hatchet, boom, I'm going to have to come back in and
That's what I like to hear.
I have this DVD. I've had it in my collection for like 4 years.
Watch it. Dude, a lot of people don't watch it now because
it's long.
Well, it is long. Like when you get into Asian films, they're always longer than necessary. Every single Asian film I've talked about tonight could be edited by 10 to 20 minutes to make it faster paced and run a little bit smoother. And that's whether it's Korean, whether it's Japanese, almost all of them are like that. It's something that comes with the turf.
Yeah, Korean the most, though. Korean fucking... All their movies are like at least an hour and 50 minutes long and run between like that time and like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Seems.
Yeah.
You know? Japanese sometimes, not as much. Like Battle Royale's 2 hours.
Yeah, but Takashi Miike is really bad about not editing down some shit and he also a lot of his movies have really bad pacing issues. That is the one thing I will say about Miike. But Miike will also literally direct almost fucking anything, like that fucking weird ass shot out fucking musical he did, The Happiness of the Kudamaris or whatever this. That movie.
Katakiris.
Yeah, that movie is fucking.
That was 2002.
Holy shit, that movie was crazy.
He's 100 this year. He's making his 100th movie.
Dude, yeah, in 1 year he did like 4 fucking movies. He literally. And here's the thing, y'all were talking about how y'all want like Rob Zombie and Eli Roth to not write their own shit and just direct. That's what Takashi Miike does. Like he literally will direct almost fucking anything. If you will pay him, he will direct it.
Yeah.
He's a hustler, man. I like it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's a visionary. He's fucking great behind with his direction is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just off the fucking. It just goes places. And you can't always follow. He's like the Fulci of fucking of Asian horror.
Yeah, dude,
I can't always follow it.
That is the most spot on thing I've ever fucking heard, and I've literally heard Kenneth come. So let's go into what I think is the most the most generic year out of all of these, because I think this is the one problem. If you had problems with this year, I don't know how. This just seemed to be like easy write off, generic, bam bam done. Because the picks are just so fucking easy. So Kenneth, 2007, where you at?
My runner-up was 30 Days of Night.
I'm kind of confused. Did you just say this year's not good?
No, this
year easy.
This year is easy. There's no like. I don't. If you had problems picking a movie in this year, I have to wonder why. It just seems like, okay, here's a bunch of good movies. Yeah, I like that one a little bit more. Bam, done. I just think this year.
I love this year.
No, I'm not saying that this year is bad.
This year has one of my favorite movies, my favorite horror movies of all time in it.
I just think
this was my hardest year.
Yeah, this is the best year of the 2000s, I think.
Holy shit.
Too. I agree.
We did a show on it. We did a fucking Exploding Head special because of that. Because when we did our 40 years of horror, we were looking at 2007, talking about the runners-up and this movie and that, and we were like, holy shit, 2007 is an amazing year. And then Watson goes on to talk about 2007, how great he thinks it is on his show, so that's why we did that show. Yeah,
okay, maybe it's just, I guess in my view of the year, it's generic, and I thought it would be that way for other people, but apparently I'm very wrong on this. So I can admit when I'm wrong. It doesn't happen often, but I can do it. So Kenneth, I'm sorry, you said your runner-up was 30 Days of Night?
Yes.
Great flick, man. Love it.
Yeah, I picked that one, man, because I like the comic books too, but I love the idea of endless night. I thought that whole thing was just, that whole idea behind that was great. And then I also really liked the take on the vampires too, because it was different. It wasn't the romantic style that like Anne Rice and stuff like that I also really dig, but it wasn't that and then obviously it wasn't Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you know what I'm saying, like Twilight. So I really, really like that. And then my number one was The Mist.
Nice.
I mean, to me, The Mist has got one of the greatest endings ever for a movie.
Yes.
Agreed.
I mean, I like the premise of it. I like the look of it. You know, it was kind of Silent Hill-esque to me. And then when you get to the end of it, it was just like, it just blew me away. I mean, that was just a fucked up ending all the way around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
JP, 2007.
2007 was hard for me, man. There's about 4 films that I love a lot that could go here. I debated on my.
If it makes you
What's
feel
that?
if it makes you feel any better, I'm hard for you and I'm in love with you.
My runner up was tough, man. I debated all the way up until about a half hour ago on what I was gonna go with. It was the only year that I had this much trouble with, and I decided to go with The Mist for my runner up. I just seen this in the theater last week, I believe, little over a week ago, week and 2 days. And man, it's such a powerful movie. If you've never seen the black and white version, I highly recommend it. It hides the CGI a little bit, which is people's number one complaint with it. But it's meant to be seen in black and white. That was the original intention, and it's on the Blu-ray, the black and white version. Highly recommend it.
Agreed.
But to me, I think that this movie does so many great things, and the ending alone is like masterpiece level. It's amazing. When Stephen King says, "I wish I thought of that," that's some powerful shit for his own story. And but I love the aspect of the film that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's how they tackle religion and how in a desperate time religion can be such an impactful thing in that sort of way. And I think that the scene in which they really go kooky and stab the soldier, and he's just pleading, please don't throw me out there. It just touches me, man. It freaks me out. That's the stuff that actually scares me is people outnumbering me and forcing me to do things or killing me or something like that over something that seems so ludicrous to me. Something that I can't wrap my head around, but to them, they believe it so strongly that it pushes them to do these crazy things. And you just want to be able to explain, no, you shouldn't do this because this and this and this and this, but you can't because they have their mind set on something. Love The Mist. Fantastic movie. And my number one is a film that I think that any horror fan should love because it's what I think it encapsulates what we love about the genre, and it has one of the best atmospheres of all time, and it's Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, guys. Trick or Treat.
I like Trick or Treat, but I'm not as high on it as everyone else is. I watched it for the first time last year, and I think it's good. But I thought it was just okay.
It takes time, I think, because the first time that I seen it, I didn't love it, and now it's one of my favorite horror movies
Wow.
ever.
I'm the opposite, JP. The first time I saw it, the atmosphere blew me away, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. It's going to be a new tradition for me. I haven't felt this way about a Halloween movie in years. It was great. And then the more I watched it, and keep in mind, you were on the show. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's high praise. But the more I watched it, I started examining the stories for what they were, and I was getting a little less impressed and drifting off during some of them, and a couple times where the novelty wore off a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I had the opposite reaction, but a great movie. Sure.
To be fair, Dave, the first time I get blown, I'm usually really, really up on it too, and then every time afterwards, slowly and slowly, I go, okay, it's not. Maybe there's a little problem here. Should have went a little deeper there. Could have looked up here. I understand that completely.
Yeah, it's same damn cracker. Well,
I wasn't gonna bring race into it, but okay.
That's an old Eddie Murphy Raw joke that nobody got on. That's all right.
On this show, when it comes to Raw, we only know ODB.
Oh, baby, like it raw, no doubt.
I'm sorry. Okay. With that being said, let's move on to the rawness himself, Jay.
Jeez, I'm just gonna get all the nicknames this episode.
That's the problem with going after Jerry.
Going after Jerry.
Or, I mean, having
Going
Jerry.
after JP.
I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah.
So my runner-up, and I'm surprised it hasn't come up yet, with as much as we talked about it earlier, was the Halloween remake. I fucking loved it. I like this as a rewatchable film more than I like the original.
This was the one. I was debating. For
I like the
half hour before the
backstory.
show.
A lot of people complain about the backstory. They're like, it removes the mystery. It's like, well, no, I love the backstory. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love the increase in gore. I love everything about it. The second one was batshit insane, so we're not going to talk about that. But I absolutely love the original Halloween remake.
The original Halloween remake.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And then my number one, and like I said earlier, is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, is The Mist. I just, like everyone else has already said, the ending, the creature design, it was fucking fantastic. I got to watch the black and white version for the first time last year. Nice. I picked up the collector's edition Blu-ray that has it on there, and I decided to give that a shot, and it made it feel like a 60s horror, a 60s monster movie.
With a 2000s ending.
Right, yeah. Oh, God, yes. But, yeah, I love that he had the balls to do that. I love that it wasn't the ending from the book, and I love that Stephen King loved that it wasn't the ending from the book either. Yeah. Just everything about The Mist. If you haven't seen The Mist, you need to see The Mist immediately.
That is
but yeah, so
accurate.
That's mine for that year.
All right, Dave.
I'm hoping at least one of my movies in the last 2 years is something somebody hasn't talked about, so I have something more to say than what's already been said.
Yeah. Well, let's.
I got my fingers crossed for 2008. We'll see.
We'll see. Dave, where are you at?
All right. Well, this one's been discussed here again and again tonight, and my runner-up is The Mist. Excellent movie, and like I said, 2007 is an excellent year. So many to choose from. Seriously, so an amazing year, I think. But yeah, I picked The Mist. It's great. I watched it also for the first time black and white last year, and I enjoyed it. Next time I watch it, it'll probably be black and white again. But I could still see myself going back and forth. But it's a great story. It's just a great movie all around. The creatures are great. It's when they go outside and you see the giant ones, that really gets me. It seems, I know it sounds silly, but it seems realistic. Like if that was to take place, I felt like I'm in the moment with them people. It's weird. It's scary. Like I don't believe it could happen.
It's cold chilly. You get like a cold chill. You just realize how massive this situation is.
JP, you know you can put chili in the microwave, right?
He's Mexican. He knows all about chili. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just questioning here.
Are you guys looking forward to the TV series?
It's on.
No, I heard
already.
it's on.
It's on? I haven't seen it.
I think it's almost done with the first season.
Yeah, it's almost done.
I don't watch live TV.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
neither.
either. But it sucks, I hear. I keep hearing again and again that it sucks, so I'm like, well...
We
Don't
literally
be
mentioned it on episode 1 of 22 Shots, and it's finally happened.
Oh, shit.
We're on episode 109 now, by the way. And 3 years later, almost 4.
All that talk about that fucking that show, and there's been so many good shows, and it ends up, it seems like it's going to be a shitty show. That's the funny part. They've been talking about it.
Everything has been made from 22 Shots on that first news segment, except for Friday the 13th.
Well,
the It movie. We mentioned It. We mentioned It on that first episode.
Right. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's fucking great. So, yes, The Mist. Here's something I want to say. Here's the fucked up part. As fucked up as she is, and I think Stephen King is known to have the religious zealots, the fucking these crazy people, and it's a standard in his stories. And I completely dig it because there are a lot of fucking kooks out there. But here's the funny thing: turns out the fucking crazy lady was right, and nobody ever talked.
What was she right about?
She said we should sacrifice the child and this will end. And guess what? as soon as the kid gets sacrificed,
Yo,
killed.
that's some cold-blooded shit. What you just said right there.
Holy shit! I never thought about that.
I never thought of that. I mean, technically, I guess.
Yeah, it's one way to look at it.
Holy
it just so
shit,
happens
that
that
just brought up a whole new theory to that movie.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
just a coincidence.
But it's cool. It's cool to talk
cool,
about.
though.
Who knows? Maybe the director actually thought that.
That would
Who
be
knows?
insane.
I know.
Yeah.
I talked to him.
Wow,
He said
you
you're
just blew my mind.
That's what I'm here for.
Hey,
So,
my
that's the mist.
I call my dick mine, Dave, if you don't mind.
Nope, that's what Brandon's for. Sorry, I'm on the grab ass group. Come
Well, it's
on
okay.
now.
I want you to grab my dick, not my ass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What the hell? I'll try it. All right. What the hell? And
Wow.
that is the last American movie I'm going to be discussing for the rest of the night. That time.
Oh man.
What?
I mean,
No
That is
way.
It's almost
2009.
my last one.
No, because in 2009, I thought I had you pegged.
Nope. It's the last.
oh wait,
Holy
you go after me. Never mind. I might still have a chance for 2008 then.
Yep.
Okay.
And my number one for this year is what I've said is my favorite found footage movie, period, and it is Wreck. And
I still haven't seen Wreck.
I have not
dude.
either.
what the fuck, really?
I own it.
Did you guys
I-
listen to our show when we did it with Watson?
No, because I
Don't
don't
know
listen to
No,
shows where
I did. I did listen to it because if it's like, sometimes I'll be like, well, let me see if it's something to be interesting. If I get interested in enough in the movie, I'll kind of turn it off and go watch it.
Oh, dude, please don't tell me you guys have both seen. And I like the movie. It's a good remake.
I've seen
But-
Quarantine.
I have
Oh.
not.
Okay, I'm glad you're going in without
I've seen
seeing
Quarantine once.
I do
It's
like
good.
Quarantine though.
I do too. You know what Quarantine is? It's just like Let Me In, which is a good remake, but it's not on the caliber of Let the Right One In. But it's a good remake. You know what I mean?
I still have not finished Let the Right One In because I get so fucking bored
That's all.
that
All
I
right,
lose
move on.
attention.
Move on.
So
Wreck's my
Dave,
pick.
Wreck, yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay.
Okay. And this is the reason I called this year generic. Is because I knew everyone was gonna have The Mist. I knew everyone was gonna have The Mist.
I had to.
And my list also
Don't
includes
be a
The
cocksucker,
Mist.
Jay.
It has to.
Yes.
The Mist is my number one. That's my number one of the year. It's one of the best Stephen King adaptations out there. It pulls the jaws and changes the ending and makes it better than the ending of the book. And it hits everything. It's got Lovecraft monsters, crazy religious lady, and paranoia for everyone. And the ending is one of the most desperate pieces of a masterpiece I've ever seen.
Nice.
And much like Jay, my runner-up is Halloween.
Oh, yay!
The highly controversial remake that has separated horror fans like no other, and I fucking love it. And I love it
too.
more than the original Halloween movie, and I don't care who knows it. The zombie grindhouse look pushes this story to a place it has never been. And while I know some people hate the backstory, I fucking love it. The grime and rawness in this movie is fucking great. And I'm sorry if I'll go back to Kenneth and I and Jay. We did the original Halloween, and I'm sorry, but the name The Shape is fucking stupid. I understand if you like the mystery, but The Shape, it sounds like a fucking bad guy on a goddamn Sesame Street episode.
Yeah, but nobody actually calls him the shit.
Oh no! When you start talking to the hardcore fans who fucking like hate-
That's a description of the character.
But they call him. They're like, oh yeah, the shape, the mystery, and I'm like, fuck your shapes, fuck your mystery.
Fuck your
Well, that is the
shapes.
shape. The shape is part one. That's all there is to it. It's a respect thing for Halloween '78. He's the shape in that movie. It's the only time he's credited as the shape ever in this entire fucking series. And of course, the Michael Myers that's in the Halloween remake is not the shape. So I don't know. I respect it. I've used that term too. The shape. I'm not a Halloween fanboy, a franchise fanboy, but
I know, because
I
if
don't
you
know.
were, I'd take away your Friday the 13th title and give it back to JP.
right? No,
I'll
no.
get it back eventually. Wait till I invent this fucking time machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Let's have
fuck
trivia,
you up.
homie. Okay, that's what we'll do. Have trivia. Jerry, prepare trivia for
Hey,
me and GP
I'm
since
still
we're never
preparing
gonna.
trivia, damn
Yeah,
it.
like that's ever gonna happen.
It's
we may as well
going
just
to.
do this.
You know what?
Goonies never say die.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm in a lot of plum rage right now.
Yeah, that's like a year old now. Nobody knows. We
Yeah.
keep making the joke that only 4 of us in the world know.
Everybody's scratching their head.
For real.
Plum rage.
Like Brandon is literally the only person who's gonna hear this that knows what that's about. Kenneth and Jay are both over here like, the fuck are they talking about?
Nobody knows. That should
Like
be our
literally,
horror podcast roundtable. Let's just call it Plum Rage.
yeah,
How's that,
literally
JP?
this that whole thing happened. If it even gets put out now, they're gonna be
It'll
like,
listen, here's my promise. If we do not finish it, it will be put out by the time March comes around, which is when we started.
okay, because
So
here's
I'll
my
put
thing.
out the 4 episodes that we recorded by themselves because they're gold. They're hilarious. all
Oh,
4.
and here's the best part. When y'all did that, I wasn't even on Horrorphilia.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I
you
know
were there
because
with-
I'm like I introduced you as a non-horrorphilia, the only non-horrorphilia guy on here, but because you were on Married with Children.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
fucking
funny.
you people and fucking Watson and Dan not getting their shit together and getting on this. I blame them.
Yeah, we have a backup plan, but I've just been so busy lately.
Well, you know who doesn't have a backup plan? 2008. Kenneth, back that ass up.
Good 2008. All right, so my runner-up is Trailer Park of Terror. I thought Trailer Park of Terror
Is that a
was
real pick?
fucking.
I saw it
yeah.
before.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic.
I just never heard anybody say anything about this movie. Honestly, like I thought it was like a House of the Dead joke.
Have you seen it?
No, I've never.
I saw it. It was
I think
okay.
I've heard of it, but I don't. I didn't. I had no idea. Cool.
I thought it was amazing. First time I watched it, I fell in love with it. And the crazy thing is damn, for a while there, I had a hard time finding somebody jacked my copy of the DVD of it, and I had a hard time finding it for a while. But I really, really liked it. I liked the aspect of it. I mean, I thought it was great. And then my number 1 from this year is Eden Lake.
Fuck
Wow.
yeah.
Anybody seen Eden Lake?
Fuck yeah.
I'm
love.
pretty sure I have at one point.
I haven't, because when Kenneth tells me to watch a movie that involves water, I don't do it.
To me, Eden Lake did for me what Hostel did for y'all.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies that came out, man, and the scenario of this movie is 100% completely believable. It can
And you know what,
actually
dude?
happen.
Those in these type of movies, there are always so many plot holes. Yet this movie managed to avoid them completely.
Right. And I honestly, when I was watching this movie the first time, I was sitting there thinking to myself, my God, this could actually happen. This is one of those things where you could completely go out to the lake with somebody that you're with or one of your friends or something like that, and some little asshole fucking teenagers start fucking with you, and one of them wants to be Billy Badass, and then the next thing you know, your whole weekend is fucked because you're basically getting, hunted and tortured by these kids. It's completely 100% believable. And
this is that Michael Fassbender movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it, but it's on my list.
It's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, totally. And the thing about it is especially when you see kids nowadays. I mean, shit, I go out, man, and I meet some of my buddies' kids or something like that I hadn't seen in 10 years, and fucking they're the last time I saw their kids, they were like, big enough for me to hold when they were like 3, and now, my buddy Mike, his 15-year-old boy, is bigger than me. And it's like, and to see this scenario happen, I mean, at the end of it, I was just like, when the credits started rolling, I was like, my God, that was fucked up. And
Doesn't she end up back at the kid's house to kill him? Or is that something else I'm thinking of?
No, she ends up back at she thinks that she's got away, and she thinks that she's gotten to safety, and she's actually at the kid's parents' house.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, then I have seen that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, people know.
That was my one issue with the film, is that was too easy to call. that exact scene. And you know how it is with lasting impressions. Like, the last thing you say is the impression that stays with you. When that happened, and I never do this, but I telegraphed it from miles away, and I was like, So you know how you watch a movie sometimes, and you want it to go somewhere that you don't think it's gonna go, and it does exactly where what you figured was the cliche thing to do. That's what happened to me in
I
that
did not
film.
see that coming at all.
And the funny part is I never see shit coming. Like, it's true. Like 90% of the shit that people say, oh, and you saw that twist coming a miles away. No, but every so often I get one, and this happened recently on the Heads. I forgot what movie it was, but I said that I saw that twist coming a mile away, and Brandon and Christian said, no, we didn't at all. I was like, what the fuck? So it's weird. Like, I pick up on these obscure ones, maybe. I don't know.
And Christian's told me that Dave really does close his eyes.
It's.
I'm not Brandon. Damn it.
Hold up. Brandon has way too high of standards to fuck with Canadians. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't think it's really like a twist, though. You know what I mean? I just think it's like a final punch to the gut.
Right, that's what I think too. I think it's just a fucked up ending, and
yeah, I don't think it's meant to be like the big reveal, like Saw or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, this now, boom, punch to the stomach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for me, the reason why it just had such an impact was all the shit that was in the middle. Because the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I do not want to go out somewhere like that and be fucked with by teenagers. That's the reason why I carry a gun every day.
Nice.
Shit like that. That's exactly why. Shit like that is exactly why I carry a gun. Because
sounds about right.
It could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. JP, fuck us with Satan Barb's dick. What you got?
All right, man. This first of all, I gotta say, I love Eden Lake, man, but it couldn't make my list because I love these two movies. These movies can be literally interchanged. You know what I mean? And both of them I've only seen one time. But I loved them so much. Like they're 10 out of 10s to me. And
I know what they are. And I think they're the same on mine. Wow.
Is it
I could switch both of them around to either spot because they're that good. The runner-up is Let the Right One In. Fuck you, Jerry. This movie is amazing. It is absolutely amazingly shot. It is the best. It's like I can't think of off the top of my head a better love story. And it's between two little boys.
Spoiler alert.
And it's just a brilliantly told story. They add a lore that's been around since the dawn of film, which is vampires. And we've seen all these different mythologies with vampires over the years, and they managed to show us something new. And that blew me away. Like, you always heard the myth, a vampire can't step inside your house unless you invite them, and they show you why. And it's like, it was so cool. I was like, that is brilliant. That is such a cool spin on that lore. And, the blood and the snow and the acting and everything is such amazing. There's so much to this movie that you can analyze and look in depth and things that aren't spoon-fed to you that you have to really kind of search your mind for, and it's a great movie.
JP, I did not pick you as a guy who would be into Yaoi Shotokan.
What's Yaoi Shotokan?
You said you like love stories that involve
it means
two little
gay
boys.
Little boy sex.
Yeah, gay little boy sex. That's I didn't know you would be in that.
Shota is the male version of Loli, and Yaoi means gay.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna avoid like as much pedophilia jokes as possible.
Well, we're gonna make even more.
Especially gay pedophilia, because regular pedophilia is bad, but I mean gay pedophilia. No, I'm joking.
Next is gonna be like an interracial pedophilia.
I was just about to make a joke about being offended, but I'm just gonna leave it. So my number one though is Martyrs, man. I'd seen it for the first time when we did the Disturbing Cinema podcast, which I still think to this day is the best review I've ever done. And it's on it's episode 1. There's only one episode, Disturbing Cinema. It's on Horrorphilia. It's me, Moods, and Kyle. And we're thinking about relaunching that for the Patreon.
Are you gonna fight the guy on YouTube who stole your idea?
I seen that somebody was doing that. They calling something disturbing cinema. I was like, huh.
No,
was
but I
like,
think
what
his
else?
first episode, he actually mentions that he got it from y'all.
Oh, really?
I want to say I might be wrong, but I thought I remembered
I'll have to check that out then.
because I think
didn't
he's in the 22 Shots Facebook group.
Huh. Cool.
Oh, wow.
I don't mind that. Whatever. But yeah, it's an amazing movie. I think it has such depth to it. It's crazy.
It's gonna be my
It's just
movie.
crazy. So yeah, Martyrs.
I have not seen
Yeah,
Martyrs
damn
yet
it.
because I can't find a copy of it.
Damn it.
Dylan hooked me up with a copy out of Canada. Because it's easy to find the rated version in the US. It's hard to find the unrated version now that it's out of print.
Damn it. Well, speaking of damn it, Jay, how sad are you over there?
I'm super sad. Damn it.
What happened? Why are you sad?
Martyrs is my number one for 2008. I was hoping I'd make it to a year where I could talk about a movie first, but it just isn't going to happen.
Listen, this is
Look at
Jerry's
me.
fault for putting me before you because I talk so much.
And look at me, I'm in the 4 spot here. And Jerry's picks,
you're
nobody
fucked.
picks Jerry's picks. I am fucked. That's why I tried to convince him to go snake style before. 1 to 5, then 5 to 1. Because I knew. Well, Jerry's picked some odd films that we expected him to pick. 'cause
But
that's
nobody
what
has
he
said
does.
my backup, so I'll have that at least. My runner-up is Repo the Genetic Opera. Anybody
Good
else
one,
seen
good
that?
one.
No?
Yes,
Only Kenneth,
yes.
I guess.
I've
Yeah,
never
and with
seen it.
Bowsman.
Oh, it's fucking great. So it's a musical with the same plot as the Repo action movie, where you can lease organs in the future, and if you don't pay, they get ripped out of you. But it's a fucking musical, and it's fantastic. I know that doesn't sound good on the surface,
It's
but it's
great.
absolutely great. Meatloaf is fucking in it. Paris Hilton gets her face ripped off. Like, there's all
Wait,
kinds of good shit.
Someone fucks Meatloaf in the movie? Like, was it leftover Meatloaf or was it like
No,
fresh and warm?
No, the singer Meatloaf. God damn
Yeah.
it.
He got the pH
So
virus.
somebody fucks the singer Meatloaf in the movie?
Wow.
Hard.
Wait,
indeed.
does he sing while
Paris
he's
Hilton.
getting fucked or what? Paris Hilton fucks him?
Yeah,
Holy
it gives him the
shit.
pH
No,
virus.
Paris Hilton's
Yes.
his daughter.
Oh, it's incest? What the fuck kind of musical?
Ooh, an incest film.
I
I
only
do
watch,
love incest films.
I
Hey, here we
only
go.
watch classy
my
musicals. Like classy
No, that's
Disney
literally
musicals.
my joke.
I watch
No,
the
this shit's
Newsies.
Just watch it. It's good.
Okay.
It's got a lot of good costume design. The set design and lighting is really good. The songs are really good. It's really good. And then, like I already said, Martyrs is my number one. It's fucking fantastic. Great imagery, great story that just starts out like, oh, okay, and then is like, what the fuck by the time you're done with it. Also, probably the most unnecessary remake ever, where they take out everything that makes the movie
It
what
was
it is.
so dumb.
I watched it and I was like, I like remakes in general, but they take out everything that makes the movie what it is. They lower the gore to basically nothing. Everything that makes the movie what it is with its story and its messages and everything else is just completely lost on the terrible remake. So don't
It's
ever
like the
ever watch that
second
remake.
most pointless remake ever.
Is the first one
Why-
Cabin Fever?
No, it's Psycho. Cabin Fever actually improved on a few things.
I didn't care
What?
about the remake either.
No, I watched Cabin Fever, the remake of Cabin Fever, the first time last week, and noticed that I didn't mention it at the beginning of this show because it was fucking terrible.
It was terrible.
It was
Alrighty
completely
then.
pointless. It was like it was damn near a shot for shot, same thing. It was stupid.
Did they at
How
least
about-
improve the fingering scene?
No,
There's some things I reviewed it a while back, and I have an interesting take on it. I'll say this really quickly. It's like they improved minor things that didn't really matter in the first one, like conversations and certain dialogue that makes a little bit more sense. The way the story's told, they flesh out a few things that make it make a little bit more sense, but everything else is such a downgrade that it becomes pointless.
I think the only thing I'm being 100% honest. I think the only thing that I liked about the remake of Cabin Fever was I thought the fucking scenes were better.
Well,
And,
and,
I'm being dead serious. I thought that was cool. And when Chick comes running outside right before she gets eaten by the dog, I thought that was pretty awesome. But the rest of it, I was just like, whatever.
well, turns out I don't think at all. So let's see if Dave. Now, Dave, neither one of my choices have been picked, but I feel like you
Pick his fucking choice.
You
Pick it.
might.
Please pick
No,
it.
I've already said it. I've already spoiled it. As a matter of fact,
You
Go
might
ahead, finish
have
your
him.
thought though, Jerry.
I was gonna say
You spoiled it?
I don't know. Neither one of mine have been picked yet. But if anyone's gonna pick them, Dave's the guy to pick them. So Dave, 2008, ruined my life.
No, what I said was going to come true before JP picked is what came true. I said, I think I know what movies you're talking about, and I think I'm going to have the same ones I said. And sure enough, I was correct. but they're switched a little bit. My runner-up is Martyrs, and it's awesome, and everyone's... What else can you say? It blew me away the first time I saw it. It's still an amazing film. And Let the Right One In, I've said several times, it's my favorite vampire film. And... Again, we've talked enough about it. It's an excellent movie. So, those two.
Nice, man. We did that twice.
Well,
I know.
Bowling, guess what? No one's picked mine.
I hate you.
What else is new?
Yeah. So,
right.
my runner-up is Cloverfield, a kaiju found footage movie. I really dug it. It's not great as a kaiju movie. It's not great as a found footage movie. But combining the two together puts it on a whole new level that gave it a unique spin on both kaiju and found footage. And
it seems perfect, right? It seems like the perfect idea to blend those two things.
It fucking is. How has no one ever thought about doing like you have found footage movies of fucking everything. Found footage movie of fucking they're gonna remake Twister and make it a goddamn found footage movie. But they should have fucking remade a giant monster movie as a fucking found footage movie, and that's what Cloverfield is, and it's dope, and I fucking love it, and it's nowhere near as bad as everyone says it is. They just most people who don't like it either don't like. Most of them don't like it because they don't like found footage.
Say it's bad, honestly.
Because they don't like found footage movies, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of found footage movies. I find them to be kind of boring, but. When it's a good found footage movie, I'm not going to sit here and hate it just because I don't necessarily care for the genre. And I think this one's fucking fantastic.
I didn't like it the first time through, but the third time that I watched it is when I really started liking it.
I like it a lot, dude. I think that it's a quality found footage film, and
I liked it.
And it does something interesting where every giant monster thing you ever see is from like a point of view that is very far away, where you can see every like the skyline essentially. But this one puts you on the ground level, man, and it's terrifying. Like I think that it's scary. You know what I mean? Like I think that if that happened, that's what I like about found footage is I can always imagine it happening to me more, because it's point of view and stuff. It's like, you know, that's me. That's my view of it. I like it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Dude, you're right, and it's ground level, and that's the same thing we were saying is so scary and cool about The Mist in those scenes, you know?
It's like that one scene stretched out into a movie.
It's fucking great. And yeah, I think this is a great movie. It's another great year. You know, just that I happen to pick as my picks two movies that I consider 10s out of 10.
Yeah, that's the problem, because I love Cloverfield. I think I gave it a 9.
And it is great. I did too.
And my number one, I watched for the first time last year because of Mr. Watson, The Strangers. I had never seen the movie because I saw the trailer and was like, whatever. And so I didn't watch it. But I finally watched it because of Watson. And Watson, I have to say, as to where Skeleton Crew has made me buy a lot of movies, Watson has made me watch some movies I would have never have watched. I watched Trick or Treat because of him. I watched Krampus because of him. And I fucking love Krampus now. Holy shit, do I love Krampus. But I watched The Strangers because of him.
Jeremy been praising The Strangers forever. You might get out of the Hall of Fuckers for this one.
Well, hold on. Just to make sure I'm clearly back into the Hall of Fuckers, I have yet to been able to finish The Black Coat's Daughter because it is also a boring fucking movie. And I'm trying to finish it because I love Mortal Kombat 2 Raiden. I love him. And he's in the movie. And I will watch almost anything.
He's also in, like, Dexter, so just watch Dexter.
I haven't watched Dexter yet. But I've been trying to finish this movie, and I just can't. I just fucking stall out so hard. And
it's
Alex,
so good.
Alex has told
I didn't like
me, Alex has told me the way I need to watch it to supposedly help me finish it. but I haven't tried it yet. So eventually I will get to it. But I will
common
say,
sense. To catch a buzz and watch a film like that, absolutely, man. I've told you so many times that,
dude. But I can't, man. When I watch movies like that, I just like zone out too much and think about like something will happen, and I'll be like, that's crazy, but what if like Spock had a mustache? Would that person still feel the same way they feel now? And it's like, Jerry, that literally has nothing to do with it. But I just take it that way.
I do that shit too. I'll be like, flies are weird.
Like okay.
how did they?
That's fucked up because that's how I am when I'm sober. That's why I have to do that so I can zone in and be immersed in the film. Like it's my ADHD. My mind is always like that. So when I partake, it slows shit down and it allows me to really dive into something.
Okay.
It's weird.
Back in the day, okay, Kenneth, when I was living in the ghetto by the Bonnell factory.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Crystal, PSP girl?
Mm-hmm.
So I
found those, by the way.
Okay, cool. We'll get on that. I was high and I was having sex with her and I stopped and she was like tapped me on the shoulder. She was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, my bad. I was thinking about Star Trek and I kind of zoned out inside of you. And I'm going to finish now, but like, have you ever seen The Trouble with Tribbles? Like that episode? Like, and then she was like, Jerry, God damn it. So like, I just zone out really bad and like zone in on like weird shit.
Yeah, I'll be like, I can't believe they killed Kincaid right away. This is fucked up.
Yeah, like I just don't know. Like I'm over here like, so Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like what makes it Kentucky? Like everyone fries chicken. Like
yeah, and it's not always fried in Kentucky.
Yeah,
it's fried in Kentucky and imported out everywhere.
Yeah, they're not importing me Kentucky chicken. The fuck are you trying to tell me? And I just think of weird shit. If you listen to our Puppet Master episode, that whole hooker idea I came up while I was high.
I'm the same way,
like,
Jerry.
If you go back and listen, like if I'm fucked up, I come up with crazy shit. You go back and listen to our terrible brain scan epised that I was like all fucked up on tons of medicine. I was sitting there talking about how the fucking the demon from Brain Scan is in the same universe as the tall man from Phantasm, and I had some weird fucking reason to why they were the exact same like type of creature. Like I just come up with some weird fucked up shit. And that's why like I just don't do it around people. So, but anyway, this is one of the best.
Funny though?
Let
me just throw this in, Jerry,
okay.
because we're talking about shit and being buzzed and drifting off. A couple months ago, something did happen to me, and I got distracted at the worst time, and it had to do with sex. But it wasn't that I started thinking. I thought about something that made me laugh. So I was going down on my wife, and I thought about something funny that had nothing to do with it. I started cracking up.
Did it make a raspberry sound?
She got so mad at me. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm okay. I thought about some else. Then I started to do it again, and I started laughing again.
Oh, my God. Dude, okay. Like,
holy shit.
Were you sober or not?
No, I caught a buzz. That's why.
Okay. Okay, because, dude, one time, Reese and I were having sex, and I was drunk, and she was on top right of me, and I went to go smack her ass, but she was coming up. And so I missed her ass completely and just smacked myself right in the balls. Like, fucking full force. Like,
ouch. You're like, I gotta stop.
Yeah, like,
stop.
it was like, the only thing I have worse than that with Reese is, with my first apartment I had while Reese and I were together, and she wasn't living with me, was like a total guy's, like, flop house kind of shit situation. And I just had a futon mattress on the floor, and we're having sex, and I'm like going at it and going, it's the missionary position, and I'm going so fast. I actually run my head into the fucking window and knock myself out.
Then
like
cold? And then she called the...
Knocked myself out cold. She finally got me to wake up, and like she had to leave, and so she left me with my roommates to make sure I would be okay. And I don't remember fucking shit from that
That's
night.
awesome.
Damn.
Like, it was
Good story, bro.
fantastic.
Strange stories of the ER.
I've never passed out while having sex.
Man, okay. Back on topic here. But one of the best goddamn home invasion movies I've ever seen, and the fact that there's really no explanation to why is what makes this movie so fucking good. And if they explain it in The Strangers 2, I don't know if I'm going to be happy or upset. Because if they do a really good job, I'll be happy. If they do a terrible job, I am going to come down on that movie like it was the goddamn Village.
I thought you liked The Village.
I
do.
fucking hate The Village. Go listen to our episode.
Yeah, I like it.
Fuck The Village.
I like it too, Dave.
No, that
Yeah,
movie's
it's
a
my
piece
favorite
of shit.
Shyamalan.
It's
How's
the
that?
worst. It's my most hated movie. I don't hate any movie as much as I hate The fucking Village.
Wow.
Fucking
Well-
garbage. Fucking terrible. God damn it. Kenneth, make me happy. 2009.
Last year.
All right.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right.
dick.
So my runner-up.
I'm sorry, man. That's my joke. I say it all the time.
That's true.
That is true. Most of the time when I'm talking with JP, there's usually a dick in or out of his mouth.
That makes sense.
And yours.
Yeah.
All right. So
2009, Kenneth. Here
One
we
more
go.
time. Here we go.
my runner-up is Blood Creek.
Is what?
What?
Blood Creek.
You're just making fucking shit up now.
No, I'm not.
He's got
Yeah,
it.
my favorite movie of 2009 was Mr. Stabby.
Is that the one where the dude stabs the dude?
And it turns out he had a dick the entire time.
I was taking a drink and that joke was way funnier than it should have been, and now there's Mountain Dew all over the fucking floor.
Well, that's what
Yay.
you get for making fun of Wolf Creek. I meant Blood Creek. Kenneth. Okay, Kenneth, explain Blood Creek. Okay, wait. Has no one seen this movie besides Kenneth?
No, I've never seen it. Oh,
I've not
fuck.
seen it.
My nose
No.
hurts.
It sounds so
And-
generic. It's like the most generic sounding horror movie ever.
Yet again, it's another one with Michael Fassbender in it.
Oh God.
Wow.
Oh shit. Michelle Slowbender. Okay. All right.
But
So
it's-
what's the plot?
It's a movie about these two brothers, and they kind of go back home, and they go and they hang out. They go back home, and they realize that there was a family of German immigrants that lived there before them, and the German immigrants that lived there before them was really into Nazi occultism, and they had found this rune stone buried on the property, and it kind of brought back a demon from that was based on all the horrible shit that happened during the Holocaust,
Oh, it's a Hellraiser movie.
something like that.
What was your
But,
favorite movie?
My favorite absolute.
Hold on.
Drag me down.
I'm still on this Blood Creek thing.
Citron.
Just go watch it. Just go watch it. I think it's on Netflix. Just go watch it.
Because this reminds me of you did the same exact shit for the 90s where at the end of it you were like, ravenous. And everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What? Ravenous is
Y'all
great.
don't know Ravenous?
I did. No one on that show knew Ravenous except Kenneth.
I know Ravenous.
Well, I know
Yeah.
rabbit sex, but that doesn't make
know.
me German.
Blood Creek is not on Netflix. It is DVD only.
Ah, shit.
Oh well.
I thought he was
It
going
was
to
on
say
there.
it actually doesn't exist and you made it up.
That'd be pretty funny.
But
Okay.
like I said, it's got Michael Fassbender in it, and it's got that dude that played Dracula in Blade Trinity.
Okay. All right. So
He's in
It
it.
was also the little boy in the first Gate movie. Oh, wait, no, you said Dracula. Never mind. Sorry. I was thinking of the first Blade movie. Dracula's the last Blade movie. Never mind. I'll shut up now.
thank God. Okay. So your favorite movie was what?
Drag Me to Hell.
Nice. I like Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell is okay.
I
It
thought it was
actually
great.
scared the shit out of me when I first seen it, dude.
I don't think it was an amazing.
That's Sam Raimi, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
got it
That-
got promoted on Raimi's name, and I don't feel like it was as good as a Raimi movie should be.
I have not seen this movie yet, and not for lack of trying. I have literally tried to watch this movie 3 times, and every single time, something happens where I never get to hit play.
Dude, when you watch it and you see the stuff in it and the cinematography and everything, I mean, it is all Sam Raimi, dude. That's the reason why I liked it so much. And then the end of it, where well, you hadn't seen it, so never mind. But the end of
Great
it,
ending. I'm with you there. Great
Yeah, I
ending.
like the ending.
the end of it was one of those things where I put myself in that position at that moment, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be so terrifying.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from the hilarity of the movie, because y'all can agree that there's some really funny shit in the movie, to the end of it where it just went from being funny to being instantly really serious and fucked up.
You know what's funny, dude? Is that I never found it funny. When I seen it one time when it came out. I own it on Blu-ray, but I've never revisited it. And I don't remember any comedy at all. So when people say it's funny, I'm always like, really? I don't remember laughing at all.
The old lady, man,
Wow.
the gross, nasty old lady.
Yeah,
that was
that's scary.
hilarious. That was hilarious to me.
Oh,
and then the the basically the deadites that are flying through the air. I mean, come on, that shit was great.
Dude, that's crazy, JP, because you're usually on board the way I am with the comedy being a turnoff.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And I have said earlier this year on Exploding Heads that I'm going to rewatch this movie because I own it and I've only seen it once. But I watched it and I was very much on board in the first act. Great setup. There was no comedy. It was cool. You know, it was a very good setup. And then they went to seance mode. And then I wasn't, even though it's Raimi, yes, I understand what he did with, you know, Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2. But I wasn't expecting it to get as slapsticky as it did, and so that kind of turned me off. So, but then it had a great ending, but it left that sour taste in my mouth just because of the comedy, which I'm not big into the horror comedy.
That's why I'm scared to
I wanna go
rewatch
back.
it, because everybody says that. I don't remember comedy. I remember being scary. So like I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go back to that, because you're like an Evil Dead 1 guy or you're an Evil Dead 2 Army of Darkness guy. I'm an Evil Dead 1 guy.
Same here, you know, yeah. But people like it so much that I said this year I definitely plan on giving it a second watch, because I might watch it, and now that I know the comedy's there, it's more. It was a little bit jarring when I saw it at the theater, because I wasn't expecting that much. So now that I know it's there, maybe I could just watch the movie for what it was. And like Kenneth was saying, the cinematography is good and everything else. I mean, you know what? I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that again this year, and I have to watch The Strangers again, because it came up last year that we did here, but Watson has talked it up so much, and not just him, other people too. I saw The Strangers, enjoyed it, really liked the ending, and that's where it ended. So I gotta go back and watch those two movies. But I digress. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, dude, don't watch The Strangers. That movie sucks.
Nah, that's great. I love The Strangers too.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again, see what the hubbub is.
All right, so I guess this is me, right?
No,
Last
we're
one.
skipping you. Fuck you. No, go ahead.
All right, so
I'm kidding.
this
You
is
can't
probably
go.
the
Shut the fuck up.
most. All right.
All right.
We're almost done. Stop interrupting him.
All right, so this is probably my most controversial pick on the list. You know, I feel like 2009 is one of the weaker years, honestly. But it overall, like, you know, this decade is pretty fucking awesome, and I think that it's very underrated in terms of decade. And Last House on the Left, the remake. A lot of remakes on my list apparently, but I think that this one has one terrible moment, and it's the very final scene with the microwave. But other than that, I love the setup to this movie. It's not as gritty and disgusting and like dirty feeling as the original, but I still think the rape and the murder is ultra violent, and it really does put me in a bad mood when I watch it. But I also feel like this one did the best thing. It got rid of all the dopey comedy from the original, and that to me was the perfect choice, because that's the one problem I have with the original over anything. And then my number one is a movie that I didn't hear anybody talk about for the longest time, and now I've been hearing it get some love. And that is an Australian film called The Loved Ones. This one is awesome, dude. When I seen it, it blew me away. There's like a little bit of a twist in it too, or like a reveal that I didn't see coming anywhere, and it was like super creepy and weird. But it's one of those. These are the type of movies that I look forward to finding, and this is why I love horror so much, and why I love podcasting, and why I love finding movies each and every year, because it's just a sleeper hit that just knocked my socks off, because I hadn't heard anything about it. I didn't know about it. I seen it, and it was just like, yo, this is a cool movie. So yeah, that's mine. 2009.
Well, I haven't seen that movie, and it's called what? The Loved Ones?
The Love. Yeah, it's about a girl who asks a guy to prom. He turns her down, not because he's a dick, but just because he has a girlfriend and stuff. And then she's like really pissed off about it, and her father capture him and torture him and stuff.
Damn.
Oh, nice. I'll have to watch that one. Sounds good.
And as the Last
Damn,
House on
Jerry.
the Left remake, I think it's a decent movie, but it just takes away every ounce of punch that the first one had.
I don't think so. Every ounce. I think that the first one has a lot of punch, but to me, when they stab the girl and you see the knife go in, it's just it just makes me so sad. I'm just like, man, I think that I can identify with these girls a little bit more too, because they're around how old I am, you know what I mean, at the time of me watching this and stuff. And the comedy sucks so bad in the original.
It does, but I know you haven't listened to our show with Last House
And
on
I
the
know
Left.
you haven't listened to mine either.
I actually have.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, okay.
Fucker. I told you I'd listen to it. I did. I listened to that, and I listened to your Jaws show right afterwards.
And you didn't listen to my shows because we've talked about the Loved Ones 3 different times on the heads. So
Yeah.
fuck off, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't have an answer to that. And second of all, I think I just have such an attachment to the original Last House on the Left that I'm almost unconditionally biased when it comes to that movie, and I forgive it for all of its flaws, for its comedy, and while I don't talk shit about the remake, I disregard the remake because it just does not have the punch. And I did watch it last year for our Last House on the Left show, just so I could have context, even though we didn't tackle the remake because we spent 3 hours talking about just the first movie. And I think that's one of the reasons I've never been able to see the punch in the second one. Because you're not the first person to be like, they watered it down a little bit, but that rape scene, come on. I'm like, just doesn't have any, that movie just does not hold any weight with me.
I can get that, but check it out. I think when this movie came out, because it came to theaters, Last House on the Left remake, I went in there expecting it to be very tame because of the time, and I recall being surprised.
Me too.
That they went there. I was like, oh, I didn't think they would go this far. But again, I've only seen it once, and my memory is that I liked it, and I own the movie, and I haven't watched it again. But that's weird.
You know what? It is hard watching it now after seeing Breaking Bad.
Because Aaron Paul's
in it.
in both.
Yeah, and I just expect him to be like, yo, bitch.
You gonna get raped, bitch. Yeah. Condom,
That's
bitch.
funny.
Alright, so with that, Jay, it's 2009. Do you get to talk about a movie no one's talked about yet?
I do, but I was way
Bam!
more excited to talk about Martyrs than I am this movie.
Wow.
So my runner-up is Zombieland. I think it's a great horror comedy. It's fucking hilarious, and I like the zombies, and I just like the movie. So
That's another one I don't get the comedy in.
Really?
I love it.
Yeah.
not even like the Bill Murray scene.
Oh, I hate that scene.
Oh God damn
Really?
it!
I like
Yeah, it's the same thing with Shaun of the Dead. It's like they ignore the situation and then they go into the shtick and then they come back into the. It's just it's like a sidestep. It's just
But
a
it was
weird
funny.
thing.
Oh,
I guess. I mean, not.
I
I don't think
right,
Moons
whatever.
always makes fun of
Likes,
me and says I don't have a
well,
sense of humor. Maybe
it
it's
sounds
true.
like you don't. Anyway, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. You don't like Zombieland. I don't get it, but whatever.
Hey, fun fact: that scene where whatever their fucking names are, the two guys.
The two girls. Oh,
No, the two guys. When they're walking down, the road after they lose their car to the girls, and they stop so one of them can beat the shit out of a car and just release stress. That is filmed in Noonan, where I used to live and where Kenneth used to live.
Nobody cares. Anyway, so my best, my favorite movie of 2009 was The Collector. I loved both The Collector and The Collection. I thought they were great. The kills were set up good. Little implausible with the time frame where he just like the guy breaks in and then all of a sudden there's all these traps set up and he doesn't notice any of them or trigger any of them until the movie needs them to be triggered. But besides that, I thought they were pretty inventive in their in the way that they were set up and how they were executed. And I'm really hoping that we get a third one.
I wanted to watch that movie before this show, but instead I watched more Sons of Anarchy. Because I got the Blu-ray from the HorrorPack $5 Blu-ray sale. So
It's
I
good.
will.
It's like
It's a
Home
good
Alone
movie,
meets
man.
Saw is the best way I can describe
I
it.
will move it higher up on my watch list now.
And then you got to watch The Collection because that just amps everything up.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I love The
Really?
Collector.
Oh, it's so good.
I have it on
So good.
Blu-ray.
It's good, but
I don't know
different.
why I keep saying that.
Yeah, I think it's a really good example of how to do a horror movie sequel.
Yeah. It's, I check it out. Yeah, no doubt.
All right, but
By
that's
the
it.
way,
It's
no
2009.
comedies on my list at all.
No
Well,
comedies.
Well, that's because
It
your
says
life.
you don't have a sense of humor.
No, it's
Well, Trick or Treat's goofy. That's one of my complaints with it.
One scene, and it's the scene kids throwing up.
more than one scene, but your life's the joke, so that's all the comedy you need. Dave Z, where are you at?
All right. Well, it's the one I was just, busting you on before for not listening to my show and hearing us talk about it. The Loved Ones.
Oh,
is
what was that
my,
one called again? I need to write that down so I can watch it.
This time, write it the fuck down. The Loved Ones. It's from Australia. I
Fuck
think
yeah,
Australia.
Dave, you're the shit.
Is it Australia?
Crikey.
Thanks, homie.
So,
Yeah,
have y'all
it's
ever
It's this.
covered this on Exploding Heads?
We haven't covered it, but when we talked, it just come up in conversation a couple of times, and it's also been discussed. Like Christian loves it. It's like his favorite
Yeah,
movie.
same thing on 22 Shots. We've never covered it, but we've mentioned it many times.
Yeah, dude. And when we did our top 20 list, when we did that one 2020 show, we talked about the Millennium movies. I think it was on all of our lists, at least two of ours. So yeah,
Okay.
we've talked about it, but it's okay. I mean, fuck, you're talking to the guy I can't remember shit. So
Fair enough.
I don't blame you. So yeah, The Loved Ones, and number one is Rec 2.
Nice.
It's not exactly. It's the closest thing to being as good as the original. Because Rec 1 is awesome. Rec 2 picks up exactly. It does the Halloween 2 thing where it picks up on the same night and just continues. And they take it to a new place. There's more revelation. Still all the badass shit that makes the movie great, like the first one. It's. I think they're the best two infected movies there are. Period.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm really high on these movies, as you can tell. But yeah, Rec 2. If you guys haven't seen Rec 1 and Rec 2, what are you waiting for?
Couple of
Is that-
Spanish films. I'm waiting to
Right.
cover them on the podcast.
I was thinking it too, man, because there's the third and a fourth.
Yeah, we're gonna cover all four one day, but I
There you
just don't know when.
There you go.
Well, shit. I guess I got to get on watching those also.
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude.
I'm the worst. You talk about a movie from the 70s or earlier, I've probably seen it. But if you talk about any movie from the 90s and up, I'm really struggling to check it off.
I was surprised how many movies I actually saw in this 10-year span.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
So yeah, it's a great time for horror, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to end this with two movies that have not been mentioned once again.
You lucky dog.
One of them I could have sworn what Dave Z was going to have.
Halloween 2?
Halloween 2.
Nice.
I fucking love this
I like
movie.
Halloween 2
It's
too.
It was close.
It is
Original Halloween 2 or the Rob Zombie Halloween 2?
No, Rob Zombie.
well, I don't know, Jay. Which one came out in 2009?
Oh, shit. I'm stupid.
No, that was great.
Wow.
That was
wow.
Okay, so this movie is a psychological.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, it's
Fucking
we've been
unicorn
recording a
heads,
while.
man. They got me fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
This movie is a psychological dream ride that I just love taking. It's a bit shot out for the mainstream audience, but the biggest reason I love this movie is it makes the backstory of Michael from Rob Zombie's first Halloween that everyone fucking complained about pay off in spades. And almost every single person I know who hates the backstory in Halloween remake hates Halloween 2. But the people who usually are okay with that backstory love Halloween 2. It just makes it fucking work. The ending is the whole movie's fucking depressing looking. The ending's
I love that about it.
Yeah,
I love what they did with Laurie's character too.
Yes,
Love
the
it.
ending's depressing, and plus I love what they did with Laurie's character just because, dude, I want to know. I talk about this on Married with Children where I want to know the aftermath of certain things, and I feel like that's what this movie is.
What would probably happen too.
It's not necessary, but it's 100% what would happen afterwards. Laurie going into fucking goth stage. I only shop at Hot Topic. I want it to be 30 Days of Night constantly. Fucking chick. She's so depressing. Super fucking hot.
One of the most unexpectedly sad scenes in horror movie history.
Yep,
with,
a fucking
Sheriff
slasher.
Sheriff Brackett and Daniel Harris. Amazing.
Yes.
The fatal flaw with this movie for me, the one problem that hurts it so much
I'm ready for it. Go on.
is the dream sequence at the beginning.
That's so great, though. What do you
It's
hate
so
about
great,
it?
but it didn't happen. It's like you want it to happen because it's so long, and it takes away so much steam for me that it's not real.
Oh, if you can just push that aside and take it for what it is, you'll love it.
I
dude.
love that scene.
have to
I
do
love
that.
that scene. It's an amazing scene.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
It
That's enough.
completely erases. It's pointless. What's the point of that scene?
Who gives a shit if there's a point? It's a great scene.
I thought the point was to set up not only the dreams that Michael is having, but the dreams that Laurie is having, because this whole movie is about those two becoming closer.
But those
It's
scenes
true. It's a
have
precursor.
nothing. Those scenes have nothing to do with what happened there.
But but it's just to set up that this is what the
That
movie
she
is going
dreams?
to be. Yes, that her and
Yeah.
Michael have similar dreams.
Okay,
There you go.
They
And
have
it's
the
trippy.
same psychotic episode going on.
It's a trippy, artsy slasher.
That
It's like,
dream is not we could talk about that movie all
Okay,
day, but you know.
I will move on to my number one pick, and I was telling Kenneth about this movie earlier today, and how this is normally a movie that I don't think people would see me liking, and it's a Korean vampire movie directed by Park Chan-wook, director of Oldboy, and it's called Thirst.
Movie's awesome.
This is the movie before A24 started tricking people with trailers. This was the movie that was already fucking doing it. If this movie came out now, it would have the same exact reactions as The Witch had and It Comes at Night. It would get the exact same tricks done on them. I 100% think it would happen. But the basic story is a priest who accidentally becomes a vampire after a blood transfusion to save him from a disease he caught while helping a hospital turns him into a fucking vampire. And from there, he starts having questions of how to deal with not only living as a vampire, but the love he has for a married woman. And man, this film has a great ending.
Comedy? Oh.
No, a great. The ending is so. I'm trying to make sure I don't spoil things when I talk about this movie because it's one of those. It's a gothic horror. It's a gothic horror movie. It's a gothic horror romance. You know how when Dracula came out and they were just like, this movie is a love story. This one is exactly a fucking love story. And I love it. I think it's a great horror drama. And
So you bookended with vampire films.
yeah, the thing I don't like, I bookended it with vampire films. Because it's a kind of out there and obscure movie, and it's one. I mean, have any of y'all seen Thirst?
I mean, considering I've been mentioning it, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, no, actually, JP, when you mentioned it earlier, I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to take that away from me. I got to figure out a way to kill him before the show ends.
It could have honestly been there for my Last House on the Left. I probably could have swapped it out.
Yeah. But it's a wonderful gothic love story if you want to check it out. It's great. It does have a DVD release here in America because I have it.
Me too.
And I absolutely love it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the best of the 2000s. Jay had to run, so later, Jay, go take care of what you got to take care of. But before we get out of here, let's open the mic up so they can find out where to find these other two lovely gentlemen. JP, what do you do? Where can people find you? All that good nonsense. Promote the shit out of yourself.
Well, homie, you could definitely find me on Horrorphilia, on a number of podcasts, including Married with Children, 22 Shots, Netflix and Chill. You can find all of our links in any of our episodes, so I'm not going to shout out all the stuff, but you can friend me on Facebook if you want, whatever. I'm pretty active, and this I want to say that this was a blast, dude. Like, I absolutely I was hoping that this was going to be fun, and it was really, really fun. Sorry if I talk too much. I know that I talk a lot, and I never shut up, but it's just my brain just moves constantly, and I have to get it out, or else I go insane, and nobody likes me when I'm insane. So, Jay and Kenneth, fantastic, hanging with you guys and meeting you guys. I've podcasted with the other two before, but you guys are awesome, man. And I know Jay can't hear me, but you can relay the message.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so don't give me shit now that Kenneth wasn't there to interview you.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the hell? Because I heard you on the Skeleton Crew episode, and I was like, I like this guy, like, because you were saying things that I like. You were talking about movies I liked and stuff.
Thank you. Have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Except Frozen.
Yeah, right.
Frozen.
That is going to be a fun show when that happens.
I honestly, I mean, I know we're going to do that, but I honestly have to say that that is the horror movie that I absolutely loathe. I hate it more than any other horror movie.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's crazy.
Yeah, we have a rule on Kill the Cast. If you force someone to do a movie they hate, they get to force you to do a movie that you hate. And since they got me to do The Village, which I think The Village was actually one of our best episodes.
Except for now, this is your best episode. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe. It's got some tough competition. Our Psycho 3 show was better than the Skeleton Crew Psycho 3 show. Even admitted by Alex, the Psycho 3 superfan. And literally, that was me and Kenneth deciding to do... I actually asked Alex, I was like, Alex, what movie do you want us to do? Me and Kenneth are just going to do a bonus episode. And he said Spider Baby, but I didn't own that shit. But I own it now.
It's good.
And so he was like, Psycho 3. And I was like, okay. So me and Kenneth watched Psycho 2 and Psycho 3, took all of our notes, and then recorded, like, bam, 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 all in one day. And
if you like, sorry to go off topic, but if you like House of a Thousand Corpses, watch Spider Baby. I think you'll be interested in some of the themes in there.
I just got my Arrow haul in from their Arrow sale.
Not saying it's like it, like that it's the same movie, but Rob Zombie definitely took influence from that movie.
I thought he only stole from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh no, he steals from much more than that. Shining, the list goes on. But I'm cool with that. I like that. I think that's how horror should be made.
Yeah.
Tarantino does it. Fucking does it with Scorsese.
Every time I listen to Exploding Heads, I'm stealing shit. I used to steal shit from 22 Shots, but now that they got the other guy on there, the show's just been going fucking downhill. JP posted something while we were doing this, and I had to check it to make sure he didn't try to fuck with me like he did last time when I was doing JP's interview.
The other guy?
Yeah, he tried to talk shit on me while we were recording. Me and JP had to handle that.
And Jerry went off on him.
Oh my gosh, it was great. And Dave, tell everyone about yourself and where they can find you.
All right. Well, you can primarily find me on two podcasts: Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast and ABCs of Hidden Horror. Both of them are on Horrorphilia, horrorphilia.com, iTunes, and everywhere else. That's it.
Fair enough. Repping this Horrorphilia. In fact, Kenneth and I will have a big surprise for everyone in Horrorphilia coming soon.
Who's having a surprise?
Me and Kenneth have a surprise for everyone in Horrorphilia coming soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's, I really can't even describe what it is yet because it would kind of give it away, but...
Can you tell us off air?
Maybe.
I don't want to know.
Maybe.
You know me and spoilers, JP.
Well, no, it has nothing to do... It has nothing to do with, like... We're not like we're sending everyone dick pictures or anything, but... It's
Damn.
still...
Even though I thought about sending Dave a dick pic.
Dude, we got a dick pic one time. No shit. In our email.
Wow.
Are you going to say who was it from?
I don't know. It was from a cell phone, which was
How do you-
weird.
Jeremy was like, guys, I'm gonna borrow this email. I'll be back.
It was such a weird
was
thing,
Kenneth.
dude. It was
It
so
was Kenneth. He was trying to send it to me, to Exploding Heads, but he fucked up and typed in 22 shots.
This was about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Hey,
Oh,
Kenneth's been after us for a long time.
me and Kenneth have been making our ways around Horrorphilia. We're
Yeah, grab assing. I know.
yeah.
Saw that touch button.
Yeah, I've been all over the place, so I can't say anything at this point. I'm a used condom. But and then as for Kill the Cast, if you're listening to this from the 22 Shots feed or the Exploding Heads feed, welcome.
Yeah, sub Kill the Cast. Check them out, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
My name is Jerry. I am your host, and with me is Kenneth, who could literally punch you in the face and eat your soul. I have seen him do it.
Nice.
Don't question that. Jay was here. He had to split on an emergency, but he's always a good time, and you never quite know what you're going to get out of him. He's always a wonderful surprise. I love hearing from, especially when he talks about killing people in a retail setting because he's actually a vampire. So, with all that being said, we are Kill the Cast. Normally our shows are not this long. This was a special occasion. We try to be the more short end of the stick. So when you don't have time to do a 5-hour-long 22 Shots or a 3-hour-long Exploding Heads, you can come here and hopefully you'll get out with under 2 hours? We usually try to make it like an hour and a half, hour and 45.
Yeah, blame me, Jerry. Blame me. JP said he talked too much. I definitely talked too much, but I was excited to be here, and it was a great time.
Yeah,
so,
well, I
thank you.
kind of figured this was going to turn into a 3-hour-long show. It is going to be like 3.5 hours, but I
I
don't
don't think me and JP together on a show could ever go under 3 hours.
Yeah,
I just-
dude.
Jesus
come on.
Christ,
Right?
y'all's fucking 1986 show took me like 4 fucking days at work to finish. I was just
I just sent Dave a dick pic.
Uh-oh.
I looked
Oh,
at
yeah,
my
it came in.
I looked at my phone and I had a notification from a Facebook Messenger and I was like, whoa, this wasn't a group message. I've already seen your dick. I'm good.
That is a dick pic.
If that's a picture of
That is a dick pic.
if that's a picture of me, I swear to God.
It's great. It's great.
But without further ado, dick pics aside, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. You can check us out on the Horrorphilia Network. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, all that nonsense. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Patreon. You can find Exploding Heads on Patreon. You can find 22 Shots on Patreon. Links for mostly everything, as much as I can compile, will be in the description for you to check out, including links to these two fine gentlemen's shows. So, with all that being said, time to get out of here. Kenneth, you got any last words?
Nope.
As per usual, JP, you got any finishing statements?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of vampire movies, but I love movies about vampire hunters.
That was
That's my favorite moment.
Dave, you got any last parting words?
Believe it or not, I'm at a loss for words. I love
And-
everybody in this world. How's that?
And believe it or not, thank you for watching. This was actually a better ending than the TV show Lost. You are all welcome for the work that we did for you. We will gladly take any blowjobs as compensation. And we will see you next time on Kill the Cast or Exploding Heads or 22 Shots or 700 other fucking podcasts. Goodbye, y'all.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.